My killers will not take no for an answer.
What, we're live right now?
We're live, dude. I fucked it up.
We are live?
Yeah, dude. You're on the. You're literally
how
right
cool! How cool is that, dude?
We are professional.
No, dude, you put a fucking Killstream song on, bro.
now. Yeah, well, it goes into the next suggested thing.
Oh my god, dude, fucking Bane is in the YouTube chat.
Let's fucking go, Bane. You know you're on the air,
I'm
right?
not. Huh?
Just talk, dude. Give the intro, man. You know, they're all waiting.
Oh my god, dude, we are live, bro. What are you doing?
That's what I'm telling you,
live,
dude.
bro.
Yeah, what's up, guys?
Ladies and gentlemen, we're back.
No, I got
Max
it.
does not have his
I
shit
got it,
together.
dude. I got it. Bro, what's up, boys and boys? We're fucking back, dude. yeah, we out here. We're fucking back. You know, we missed a couple of weeks. There was the Super Bowl. There was me getting drunk. There was what's his name? Fucking Avon got drunk one weekend. And it sucks that we spent that long apart. Because there was a lot of shit that happened that we were ready to talk about and everything like that. But and then there was some fucking documentary that came out about him and all this shit, and it was just like, when are we gonna be back? And you know what though? We're fucking here, bro. We're here for you guys. I'm tired as fuck, still hungover, but it doesn't matter because we gotta talk about some shit, and it's been like 3 weeks since the last time we met. So that's my intro. Thanks, Kaz, for fucking up the song. No countdown, nothing. We're doing it. We're phoning it in. But we're not going to let you guys down. We're going to talk about some shit. You didn't even put the fucking thumbnail that I made. Anyways, how you doing, Avon and Kaz? What's going on, chat? Everybody's cool, I hope?
Yeah, all right. Not bad. What's with you, man?
What's with me?
Yeah, what's with you? What have you been doing? You've been kind of astray.
Me?
Yeah.
Nah, dude, I've been, I'm back on my my sports kick here. I've been hanging out with the team, getting shit-faced on the weekends. I don't know, what do people do on the weekend? Dude, I'm back in my flow. You know, there was a while there. COVID really fucked everything up when it comes to like my workout routine. Calls starting to dry up because nobody's going out anymore. But then like suddenly overnight, it's just been like, opportunity to go to Hawaii, opportunity to go to this place, that place, Washington, D.C., fucking running around. And like it's like 2 years of not doing anything built up and like exploding out all at once. This 2022 has been good so far, and I plan to keep things moving this way. I'm back in my grind, talking to, I wasn't meeting anybody new or anything like that. Your boy's trying to get married and have kids, and I wasn't meeting anybody. The fight gym was closed, everything. So I'm back, fucking trading, and I think me being back into a normal schedule is why I'm tired on Sunday nights, and I haven't been tired on Sunday nights for years and years. Sleep cycles are all fucked up and everything, but Max is back. Boy feels good. Got a lot of travel plans in the future. Got a lot of shit to talk about when it comes to Bitcoin, crypto generally, and that's pretty much it. It's a long-winded way of me saying that's why I wasn't around for better part of 3 weeks.
Yeah, I mean, you already mentioned everyone was drunk or otherwise inhabilitated. I was around. I was waiting.
I don't drink a lot, but when I go out, I get, I drink when I go out. I don't get fucked up. I don't have a problem with the drink. But
it's more that you were just out in general, right? It's just
yeah, that like friends are in town and shit like that. I haven't seen everybody in a long time. We're all fucking getting back into it, and I hope everybody else is too, because they really fucking tried to take our lives away from us. And it's the biggest fuck you to them to do what you want, not be demoralized, and just keep living your life the same way we did in fucking 2018, dude. Everything just got put on hold, and now we're back.
Well, yeah, it's exactly what you say.
The biggest
that's what they want.
Yeah, the biggest fuck you to what's his name? Schwab. Yeah, the biggest fuck you to him. I was talking to, dude, I met a Polish guy last night at the local here, this dive bar. I was a Polish guy and his sister, and that motherfucker was so base, dude. Like, I don't even use the word base, but we were talking about the situation in Poland, and like how I was explaining to his sister, who like doesn't know anything about anything. She's just like, no, I think it's bad that fucking they want to stop, and just like every like female take you can have on everything that's going on. We were talking about the immigration crisis in Poland and shit like that. I'll tie this into economics in a second, but he was so fucking cool, dude. Because they've been there 1,000 times. That country has been stomped all over. They're fucking really aware. We were talking about, that's what we were talking about, Russia and the Ukraine, and just everything, dude. And that guy was That guy was cool as fuck. And kurva means everything from slut, whore to fuck and shit. Kurva is the best word in Polish, and if you learn it, say it every time there's a Polish person around.
Say it
They'll
again.
laugh and you'll be the belle of the ball.
Say it again.
Kurva.
Kurva.
Hell yeah.
Based. Avon, what about you? What you been doing?
Man, not a whole hell of a lot. I had a pretty decent week, man. Small caps got some heat this week. I'll tell you one thing I did do, which I haven't done in a long time, bro, is I posted a trade to Twitter. And you guys who follow me might notice I don't talk a ton of markets on there. I don't post a lot of tweets and about my trades. I used to post every chart with the executions on them, cost basis, price targets, the whole 9 yards a little bit, earlier in when I started coming around on the scene. And I stopped doing that for one specific reason. And literally the minute I decided, you know what, I'm going to post this chart, this execution, because it was sloppy, I got very lucky. And I want people to understand, right, how you can make money on a trade, but it still be a bad trade. And that execution is what really matters. So I post this fucking chart, right? And what's the first thing I get? Oh, should I buy this? Should I buy this shit? Is it? This is what the NASDAQ is doing. Is this still a buy? Should I get in? Should I hold this? Dude, this is why I can't do this shit on Twitter anymore, man. I can't post charts and post trade ideas and stuff because people just run up in your comments with dumb shit. Like, if I had the answer to that, bro, I'd be on a fucking island somewhere that I own away from everyone because I'd be fucking rich. But otherwise, it's been a pretty good week, man. I had some good trades, good solid trades. Tomorrow markets are closed, so I can stay up late tonight, drink scotch with you boys, talk shit. All in all, life's been good, man. I got no complaints whatsoever.
Cool.
I'm not trying to stay up late, dude. I'm trying to go to sleep, bro.
And to be fair, last week it was kind of more about the Super Bowl, right? We did. Was that last week or the week before?
That was last week, I think.
I know we missed one show because we were just like, the fucking sports ball is on, no one cares. But I'm glad to be back, man. I've got some stuff lined up that we can go over. We'll review the indexes for the last couple weeks. We'll take a look at what futures are doing. We'll talk the 10-year yields, what they've been doing. We've got some news on Fed officials. We've got a nice article from somebody I would say is relatively respectable, whose opinion I would take into effect. And we're going to shit on Jim Cramer for a little bit. So all in all, I think we're going to have a good, nice, comfy finance stream, boys.
Sounds good. Okay, cool. I've got you on. I'll bring you up on screen.
Real quick.
Okay. Go ahead.
Yeah, the last time we talked, I did. There's some lines on the the Bitcoin chart that I want to go over at the end here. We're going to go over some news items that we missed, and basically how we were talking about reaching the CME gap, filling that, and where we're going to bounce off of. And I'm just kind of scrolling through our last stream, and this is why we do this, bro. This is why whoever listens to us does listen to us, because it bounced off that line perfectly at the $32,000 mark, and we'll give you an outlook on what we're seeing with Bitcoin and what's going on in the world when it comes to crypto. And there is a lot. We're talking about the sort of agenda of these global homo elites and what they're doing in relation to crypto, what they're saying, what they're spreading, and what they're actually doing. And it's hilarious. In the same way that we had neocons that brought us into Iraq and Afghanistan, there was like that neocon class of politicians. Now we have this Klaus Schwab
injecting young globalists into governments.
Yes, dude.
I think that was a specific quote.
This is what I brought up the Polish guy. I just completely forgot why I brought him up, but I was explaining to him how there was like the war hawks, that like the sort of last remnant of that. The person who's still around would be the guy who looks like a walrus. What's his name? Michael. He has the name. It's the same name as like a fucking jazz singer. What the fuck? Bolton. Michael Bolton. That's sort of like the last remnant of that. And the neocons brought us into Iraq. Now we have this political class that what's his name, Trudeau, is involved in, and you're starting to see pushback on him. There was a few weeks ago where I was saying, I think the same way that Harambe When Harambe got shot, we literally, if you can put a like a time frame of like when we spiraled into this bizarre world where men are women and women are men and fucking all this shit going on. It was literally 6 months after Harambe got shot, they made a girl Ghostbusters, and we just spiraled into this bullshit gay 80s world that we're in. And I think the Rittenhouse trial was the tipping point, and now the populist movements are just starting to pop up all over the world, and we might be headed for better days.
Well, hopefully.
Yeah. So if we had to like write a textbook, a history textbook, we'd have an era that starts with Harambe and ends with Rittenhouse. Like how everything sucked in those years, right?
I don't think we're out of the woods yet, man. I think we got one more.
No, we're
push of
definitely
really
not out of the
horrible
woods.
shit.
We're not out of the woods.
I think we got one more push of really horrible shit coming our way before we start to see a trend reversal, so to speak.
But that's fine with me, because what I've been saying all the time is how, like, when if you think of everything like a political pendulum that swings back and forth, the kinetic energy that's being built up by us just being so far left, it's going to come flying back in the other direction, and they're not going to like what comes next. And that Overton window is it's gonna be fucking hilarious.
I think, with what we're seeing with the Canada shit, it's very clear that the average person isn't on board. And I've always said this and still maintain it, that the average person isn't on board with this shit. And I think the Canada stuff proves it, even if the polls say otherwise. But those polls, I don't really believe them.
I know personally, like 4 or 5 people that, like, they lose contact with. Either they don't talk about politics with their parents, or they lose contact with cousins who, like, just won't accept, anything that they have to say about, like, Trump being a good president or conservatives being right about this or that. Nobody was accepting anything. But I've had 4 or 5 people that I know have told me that, like, they've got, like, somebody would call them that they haven't talked to or don't talk to politics about with, and they'll call them up and be like, hey, so what's going on with this? Like, what did you say? Remember you told me this thing about this? Because everything that, to use Trudeau specifically, everything he's saying is the exact opposite of what's actually happening, and people can see that now. You know what I mean?
Like, yeah, I mean, especially with I know it's kind of a meme to say, well, would they do this to BLM and all that? But I think it works very well with the normies, even if people online push back and say, oh, well, of course you're going to say that. But no, I think it works well. You can say, look, these guys are fucking setting fires to shit, blowing shit up, killing people, and look at the treatment they got. And these guys are doing fuck all.
And I used to hate it when I see this class of politicians that we were talking about. When I see them go on TV, I was just like, shut the fuck up, get off TV, get off my screen. Now I'm just like, please keep talking. Because every time Trudeau goes on TV and says it's a bunch of people violent, setting fires, doing this, doing that, like, the next clip that shows up is like people dancing and giving each other food and giving high fives and, oh, they're racist, this and that. Then there's like a Jamaican guy who's been out there. Arthur Pawlowski's in jail, not going to be released until March 11th for like nothing. And it's more and more apparent that that's what's happening. You know what I mean? And I think people are actually seeing it now. And so every time fucking Trudeau gets on TV and lies, I'm like, good, keep doing it. Because people weren't paying attention. Biden got elected because people weren't paying attention, right? They were just they just ate what they were being told. Kids are getting their wieners chopped off when they're fucking 4 years old because nobody's paying attention. This ball is rolling down the hill.
It is proven that he got elected because of that. There was something like, I think it was between 5 or 6% of people would have not voted for Biden if they knew the Hunter Biden story. So that would have swung the election.
And then all the same people you can only confront your own cognitive dissonance so much before it just cripples and shatters. Like, everybody who's saying there's no way that the election was stolen. There's no way. Did you see the news story that came out like either it was yesterday or the day before, where it was like Republicans had a major win in North Carolina, where
they
basically got
that have been cleared?
430,000 people
Yeah, dude.
We're taking that. Okay, so that's in North Carolina. That's enough to fucking swing any state. I
Easy.
remember, when they stopped counting in Pennsylvania, they were 1 million down. They were 1 million down, and then suddenly 1 million votes came out of nowhere. When we're talking about 500,000, that was just like some random lawsuit that nobody even knew or heard about. Fucking purged 430,000 people off the voter roll. What the fuck else what fuckery do you think was going on everywhere else?
I mean, it'd be interesting to. I know this is not going to happen. There's no way this is going to happen. But it'd be interesting to see how many of those people did vote, who they voted for. Are they real people? This kind of investigation cannot happen because they don't want it to happen. But it's good to see some action.
Yep.
I guess we can go on to Avon.
Yeah, I mean, we can keep talking politics, but I'm going to be silent for that part.
I'll bring you on screen.
Right. And all of this in a roundabout way sort of relates to what we're talking about, because it's the same people that we're talking about and complaining about that are trying to do things or trying to say stuff like we're banning crypto, right? We're seizing wallets from people, like as if that's even possible. One of the news articles I'm going to pull up in a bit here. I'm not trying to step on Avon's time anymore, but one of the news articles I'm pulling up is, remember a couple of weeks ago we talked about how in February they were going to pass some crypto regulation, an executive order?
I do indeed.
Well, about an hour or two, it was revealed that will be coming out this week. The Biden administration, I don't say Biden does this or that. I say his administration.
It's Biden administration.
Yeah, his administration is releasing that crypto executive order.
Even saying his administration is probably pushing it.
But it is. It's the puppeteers. It's the puppeteers behind him. It's fucking when Jen Psaki accidentally said, "I love working for President Obama," like a month ago.
That was funny. Holy shit.
Like it's probably more true than.
Yeah, it's probably the truest thing she's ever fucking said.
Does my audio suck? Am I coming in all right?
It sounds good.
It's not fun to me. I don't know how it is on stream, though.
Right.
The only thing that does suck is
you guys talking over this super chat. Bane, Conqueror of Mars, sent us $10. That's 4 coffee. He says, "Missed you boys." Thank you, buddy. We missed you too. We're glad we're back.
Dude.
Yeah, I could see you in the chat, dude. The thing that does suck is Discord. And I'm looking at your stream and it's just gash. So I'm going to put it on screen and we'll see if someone in the chat, if anyone's watching on like an actual screen, not a phone, can see tells me if it just looks at it like shit or not.
Wait, gash is bad?
Gash is bad in the context. You wouldn't say, "Oh, I really like her gash."
Yeah, I would. I have.
Well, you're saying you're using it wrong.
When she saw my Binance wallet, she started frothing at the gash.
No.
Oh shit! Oh my god!
Christ, bro.
Go, Avon, talk, dude. Fuck. It's gonna keep. This is gonna keep happening.
A yeast infection, dude, and then it just spewed out.
She's frothing at the gash, dude.
Beautiful.
Go, Avon, tell us something, dude.
I can't. I'm caught on frothing at the gash, man. That's disgusting. Well, boys and girls, speaking of getting caught up, we're gonna get caught up on what the market has been doing in the last 2 weeks that we have been absent from you guys. And as you can see, it hasn't been very pretty. Taking a look at these daily charts, you can see that we're still in a pretty heavy downtrend with heavy downside volume hitting into all indices. We are coming down to retest the January lows. So the SPY is down 1.41% this week. That's going to be down 3.25% since we spoke last. The Dow is down 1.82. That's 2.84 from when we spoke last. Qs, which is the ETF representing the NASDAQ 100, down 1.6, a total of 4.66% down since we spoke last. Shit is not fucking sweet out here, ladies and gentlemen. It is not sweet. And a lot of people would argue that this may be the bottom. We're seeing the week close on what you would consider to be a higher low. But if you look back at the weekly charts, I don't think the case for a bull market is just ready yet. I just don't. Hold on one second. Sorry about that. Okay, Max dropped out. So taking a look at these weekly charts, we can see that the volume is fairly consistent. We've seen downside volume into the indexes. We are seeing slight drawback of that sell-off. Volume this week, tad bit lower than it was last week. Fairly significantly lower on the Dow, a little bit significantly lower on the NASDAQ here. But I don't think we've necessarily seen the bottom yet. For those who are making a case for a bull market, for this to just be a correction, part of the correction, and that things will reverse from here, these are the levels we need to see broke over. 451.6 on the SPY, 378.08.
Sorry to interrupt you. Is there any way we can zoom into one chart?
I would have to do like this. Hold on.
Just so we can make it full screen.
All right. I believe the drawings will save regardless. How's that?
Yeah, that looks better. It's just I think going in that other mode, it just for some reason it's just shit. I'm looking at it now and it looks okay, but if you try not to move around too much, because I think your internet might be shit or something today.
My internet is shit. My Wi-Fi has been cutting out all day long. That's actually why I stopped talking, dude. I thought that sound was me getting disconnected, not Max hopping out. So yeah, the internet's a little rough. I don't know how it looks on stream. Let me take a look at chat. What does chat say?
They were saying a bit blurry, but when you don't move it around so much, it does recover enough. I think right now it looks okay, but what I was thinking is but we can talk about it afterwards.
No, go ahead. Tell me what your thoughts are.
I was thinking, like, if your Wi-Fi shit, then you should buy what I've got. This mesh thing that I'm using, because you may remember my Wi-Fi was awful. I used to bitch about that all the time. But ever since I've installed these mesh things, they're pretty good.
It's 1080 quality on the stream, so I don't know. We'll try to work with it. I don't know if this full screen helps or not. I'll just go chart to chart like that. But we're looking at the SPY right now. As you can see, the weekly chart is not very pretty.
There I am.
Are you back?
Sorry.
No, you're fine.
I'm back. Yeah, I was talking and you guys weren't acknowledging me, so I knew.
Oh no, I couldn't hear you at all.
Yeah, well, because my jokes are fucking good, so if you guys didn't laugh, it's because you didn't hear me.
Yeah,
well, I was saying that, you're giving him tips about the mesh and the internet and shit like that. You have to keep in mind, Kaz, that he's on a laptop that he bought in 2009. I think that's where we have
I will have you know it's a desktop, sir. A desktop.
Oh, well.
But I did buy
your Hewlett.
It is a 2012 desktop, yes. My computer looks about as good as this weekly chart does. That's all I can tell you. But yeah, I mean, you saw we had some heavy buying volume step in a few weeks back here and push us back over these levels. But this is a vicious double top here at 458.20. It did not break over the downtrend. We would need to see confirmation of a trend reversal where you would need a candle close and a comeback and a test back to that trend line. So I don't think we are going back into a bull market necessarily soon. There's an article we're going to touch on a little bit later where somebody has a much more dire prediction that I don't know if I necessarily agree with, but the guy, I would say he's respected in the field. We'll talk about that a bit later. But as you see, we're still not in reversal territory. We do need to break back over this level. Then we'll need to see how it responds to that double top here. And then moving on to the Dow. Fuck, did my drawings not save? You son of a bitch. That sucks. Oh. I don't know if that's gonna help. Yeah, going back to 4 charts ain't gonna restore it. Fucking son of a bitch. Well, it's all right. I don't buy these anyway. I'm pretty sure it's not gonna fix it though. Oh, maybe it does. Very professional stream we got here for you, ladies and gentlemen. Okay, we'll do the best I can. Typically, I zoom in and out to try to illustrate for the chat a little better.
I get you zooming in and out. It's just try
I don't
to
mind
avoid
doing
as
the
much as you
full.
can.
I don't mind doing the full screen thing, but that's the whole reason I do like Max does is to leave the TA up, is so everyone can kind of see, that these levels do matter to a point. Sentiment matters more, volume matters more. These levels will get shattered through to the up or downside, depending on sentiment and other variables. But the TA does matter, and you can see that reflected in the fact that we've had these drawings up for weeks, months at this point. I believe. I think I started leaving the TA up in December. And it still holds, All right, so that's the SPY. Can you zoom in on the Dow? That's the one at the right, the DIA.
Yeah, I will zoom in on that one.
All right.
Yeah, it's good to have these, the history of the stuff that we've looked at before. Good to compare. Yeah. Jesus, look how the way the bit rate is just so. I mean, we were okay for a bit, like a couple of weeks, I think.
Yeah, I don't know what the hell's going on, honestly. It's getting worse.
It is getting worse. Well, to be fair, I think.
Oh god, it is really bad.
Holy shit!
Wow.
Okay, wow, right now it looks fine.
Okay. Holy shit. So, long story short, I don't see us heading for that reversal that a lot of people are hoping for. I do think that we will likely come back and test these levels. I don't think everyone is done exiting from their positions yet. I think we will see levels pushed higher so people can continue to dump shares into bidders that are stepping up. So no, I don't think we've seen the end of the bear market yet. I don't think it's a correction. I do think we are in a bear market. I do think this bear market will continue for a bit. Where the bottom is, I won't pretend to know. I won't even do a prediction on. I could do a technical prediction, but there's a lot of other factors that are out of anyone's control that could really be an issue. So where the bottom is, I don't know. All I will tell you is that the VIX is up 19.26% in the last 2 weeks. Volatility is abound. The pullbacks that we're seeing week to week are much heavier than what you would typically see in these indexes. So we're in volatile times. Trade safely out there. Be smart. Be careful. Honor your stop losses. I'm going to switch charts on you, Kaz. I don't know if this is going to work very well. It's two charts split horizontally. Dixie. I don't watch Dixie Ep. I really don't, because I do nothing with Forex, and the dollar is shit regardless. I could pull a chart and tell you what it looks like, but I don't know what Dixie is doing.
Dix. Okay, this is on screen.
Okay, so that's not too bad. This is the SPY futures and the NASDAQ futures. Right now, on their screen, they're looking at the, that looks like is that ES? Is that what that is?
ES1.
Yeah, okay. So this is SPY futures. ES mini SPY futures. Now, if you pull up CNBC, I'm not telling you to do this. I'm just saying if anyone in the chat goes and reads, I think it was CNBC, I saw this article a few hours ago. It says, the futures hit reversal as Biden and Putin agree to some sit down. I haven't read the full article, but apparently Biden and Putin are sitting down sometime this week, and they're claiming that there's a futures reversal off this. There is no reversal here, okay? There is no reversal. Not yet. Could it come? Absolutely. If this holds as a higher low, if we don't see this pull back kind of like between this midpoint, you could see this move higher. But you can't call this a reversal. Futures opened up, they spiked, now they're petering. And they still haven't broken any sort of downtrend. They're not over their 200 moving averages. So this is not a reversal. So SPY might gap up going into Tuesday. It's a possibility, but I don't know. I just really don't know. And then moving into the 10-year yields, which we haven't talked about in a while. And this is a full screen one, Kaz.
Yeah, that's fine.
Now, if you guys remember, we started tracking this from January of 2021. We pulled our trend lines. We pulled a major area of support and resistance just for the technical aspect. But let's just touch on what 10 years mean, because we haven't talked about them a lot. It's not something we touch on every single week. We don't track them. So the 10-year Treasury yield is essentially an economic indicator that helps to. Well, I mean, there's more to that. It's a bond market. People do auctions for these bonds. The yield goes up as the bond prices will go down. But for us, it's more of an economic indicator. It's more of a signatory towards investor confidence, because bonds are viewed as the safe investment. They're backed by the full, faith and credit of the U.S. government. So they're seen as a very safe investment, a place to put your money. And when you see bond yields start to rise, that means that there are more people buying into bond markets for a more safe haven investment. So people, as you can see, have seen how volatile the market has been, and they are moving into what would be considered that safer investment. Now, bond yield rates are very important, because basis point changes. Basis point is one. What is that? 1 of 1%. Max, am I right? Max,
What's up?
basis point 1 of 1%, right?
I'm sorry, man.
Can you hear me?
What are you doing, Max?
I just wasn't paying attention.
Wow.
I'm fucking looking at this new thing came out about something I'm going to be talking about later. I'm sorry, bud. What are you talking about? Basis points?
I was asking you to confirm that a basis point is 1 of 1%, 1 of 100 of a 1/100th of a percentage.
I don't know. I'm not sure.
I believe so, because we're it goes by percentage. So yes.
Long story short, so we can move on through the segment, is a shifting of, and this is a quote from Investopedia, large changes of 100 basis points or more over time can redefine an economic landscape. And if you want to take a look of just this year, I won't even pull back, I'll pull this year. We've already moved 34 basis points, 34.32%. So something
And
big
that's
is
just
coming.
in the last month.
That's year to date. Yeah, it's year to date. So
It's such a big difference in this market, because when we were looking at this last year, it was fucking crazy. This same time last year. So it's a big change.
yeah, very big
Libertas
change.
Americana. What a great co-host, because I just totally fucking beefed that. You handed it off, and I'm just like, yeah, I don't know. Okay.
That's okay, but to be fair, I mean, I usually
Sorry,
just
dude.
smoke pot and drink during your segments anyway. So
I appreciate that.
I mean, listen, that's what keeps friendships honest, right? All right. So in any event, that's about what I have on the charts for you on the 10 years. Something big is coming. Is it good? Probably not. If you're following any of the news, if you're following the economy as a whole, you'll see that inflation is at a high we haven't seen it at since the 1970s. We're seeing a lot of back and forth from the Fed about its monetary policy, what they want to do. We've got 3 separate Fed officials that are in conflict, which I'll talk about here in a little bit. Hold on, sorry, got to pull this back up. But for now, it is a time to celebrate slightly, because the Fed has approved rules banning its own officials from trading stocks, bonds, and cryptocurrencies. So officials that are employed by the Federal Reserve will be restricted to owning individual stocks, bonds, and other assets under rules announced Friday that were first set forth in October. So how the fuck?
So this,
Hey,
I had a
hold
thought
on.
of this. Well, maybe you go read the thing first. And I'll say.
No, you're fine. I no, honestly, it's so funny because someone in chat asked if Max is high. I must be high because I totally just misread this whole thing right here. Federal Reserve officials will be restricted from owning individual stocks, bonds, and other assets under rules announced Friday that were first set forth in October. My dumb fucking high tired ass read this as they will be restricted to owning individual stocks, and I'm like, how the fuck are they banned if they're only restricted to that? But I'm just stupid. So that's all that is.
Don't worry, we all are.
That's okay. I know. Listen, we wouldn't be on this side of the internet if we were smart, right? The new regulations extend and ban to cryptocurrencies, which were not included in the previous announcement. They follow a controversy last year in which several officials traded positions just ahead of the Fed's extraordinary measures to help the economy through the COVID crisis. That's true. That's very true. Let's see if they talk about what else the Fed officials did when this was being spoken about first in October.
Maybe we should talk about fucking Congress officials.
Well, that's what I'm hoping this leads to. That's why I say it's the time to celebrate.
Pelosi's a little too powerful right now. While she's Speaker of the House, I don't think she's going to pass any rules against her. Remember how nervous she got when she was asked that question?
Yeah.
She's like, capitalism thrives on us being able to do that, so I have nothing to say about it right now, but we are looking into it. And she was just like nervous and scratchy the entire fucking answer.
This whole thing with, because when I saw this out, I was thinking, is this the same as how we think of potential regulation being good, and is this the opposite? Because think about this scenario, right? When they're able to do this, they've got a huge incentive to make the market good and make it as high as possible, right? Because they've got a personal incentive to do it. If they're banned, I mean, I'm sure they'll do it anyway in some way, but like if they're banned from doing it, then what if they've got no incentive, personal wealth incentive to make the market good?
There's a political incentive because even though the stock market is not the economy as a whole, not close by any means, your average American and your average person around the world interprets the performance of the stock market to be expressly correlated with the performance of the economy. Good stock market, good economy. Bad stock market, bad economy. So there'll always be a political incentive to keep things propped up. There is an economic incentive as well, because regardless, even if politicians aren't trading, financial institutions are trading. These big firms will still be trading. Whales will still be trading. So there's always an incentive to keep the money flowing. Will it be as profitable as it's been in the past? Maybe not. Will there be regulations aimed at retail buyers to sort of continue to keep them under your thumb? Yeah, probably. There's a lot of things that might happen depending on how things go, but I don't think that there will ever not be an incentive for federal officials at some level to support capital markets.
Okay. I just worry about it. I think if people have got a huge monetary incentive, then it keeps them, in my opinion, it keeps them more honest, because I know that that's what they're doing. I know they're not being honest, but like it's I don't know, maybe I'm thinking of it in a different way. Who knows? But I see your point. I just think if they were able to do this and not banning them, I think they'd be manipulating it better. But who knows?
Well, I think that they'll, and somebody in chat said that there'll always be a loophole. And yeah, there'll always likely be loopholes. Maybe their cousin's, aunt's, granny's, brother's cousin trades for them. There's always a way around this shit. But I don't know that it will ever reach a point of there's no incentive to continue to support markets as a whole. And Libertas Americana in the chat is right. It's a very bad way to gauge the economy off the stock market. That's a very, very, very bad way to gauge the health of an economy. But your average asshole will look at the stock market and say, big green line go up, economy's great.
Yeah, so for the average guy, they see the stock market as they see like movies with it, like The Big Short and all that. But also they've obviously got their money,
where the
right?
Sentiment comes from, though.
They've got the inflation from when they see gas prices going up and all that. They see that going up and they think, holy shit, we need to change the president. They think the market must be shit. I think the average person, I don't think respect is the right word, but maybe I'll use it anyway, respects the stock market more than maybe people think. I know average people who don't trade, who are just, basic people, say that, use a bad term, and they would see the stock market points, they hear FTSE going up X points, down X points, and they think, holy shit, what's going on? So yeah, I do think they trust it a bit more. I don't know.
I think I think looking at the stock market as a gauge for the economy, it's not unwarranted. I think it's completely fine to do that, at least to gauge, like what we're doing, a technical analysis and stuff like that. Just looking at general sentiment. I mean, it's not the only thing you should use because the government does pump money or pull money out of it. But if there's a good economy, then American companies will be thriving. A lot of people, the stock market isn't just tied to assholes like us that are just buying and selling little bits and pieces of companies or assets. I mean, people have their entire retirement funds tied to some of this shit, and these indexes are very much sort of the bellwethers for entire sectors of the economy.
Yes, their
So I don't
pension
think
funds and
it's
stuff. Yes.
yeah. So if tech stocks are doing well, then it's fair to say that the tech sector is booming in whatever market that it's popping off in. Same goes for the just just indexes in general. If they're doing well, it's pretty safe to assume that the economy is doing well, unless it's being artificially pumped, and that's why you shouldn't take it as the only consideration. But I think it's completely, people wouldn't. I wouldn't call somebody stupid for doing that to gauge the American economy, even though there has been some fuckery right now, like in the past, like 2 years, 3 years. Does
In
that make sense?
the other chat, I don't know if this is actually a question, but I think it's worth saying it because I think it's more of a troll, but I'll say it anyway. So Mutiny, and there's some numbers after it, says, I need a job, I'm jobless, can trading help me earn a living? I have 3K, is that enough to start? I have empty wallets on PC, rip Harambe.
Yeah, no, if
I think
the
it's
three,
more than enough to start. When I
I
started
wouldn't put all
doing
my eggs in that basket.
some trading, more properly in 2020, I started doing it with just £100. So that's like about 150 or 130 something dollars, right? And I just flipped that around a load and just kept increasing from that. So you can start from nothing, and you can actually not even trade at all. You can do paper trading. We'll talk about that a few times, where you have like a demo account, and they give you fake money to trade with, and then practice your shit with that. But yeah, free grand is more than enough. Max just said there, don't put it all in one thing. Yes,
yeah, no,
certainly don't do that. Don't just fucking take that 3 grand, put it on one thing, and expect that to go wild. Just take little bits of it and play with it.
Yeah, what I meant was that, like, don't put all your eggs in that basket. Like, okay, well, if with 3K, there are certain points in time where, like, in the beginning of 2019, if you had 3K in Bitcoin, then you had a whole Bitcoin, and that would change that's life-changing wealth right there, and that would make you. There's something called God mode in the trading, in like the bro atmosphere of trading, where somebody will just get this God complex, like how I call myself the fucking prophet of profit, even though it's completely, true by most people's standpoint. But a lot of times, if somebody makes one good trade by accident, they get this false sense of confidence, where like you could turn 3K into fucking $15,000 within a couple of weeks, but that doesn't necessarily mean that everything you did wasn't lucky. So I think that Kaz and Avon would agree with me, is that like this is something that eventually we will be doing it full time if we're not doing it already. And I have done it in the past, but if you're just starting and learning, I wouldn't just throw everything at it right away. If you lost your job, then hold on to that 3K. You know what I mean? Paper trade, figure out some stuff. Go to babypips.com, learn the fundamentals, or even watch like the first 6 videos on our channel where we go over indicators and stuff like that. And then once you feel confident enough, then you can start playing with the markets. But when I was in college, I played the lottery when I was broke. And it's just more money getting sucked out of you when you need the money the most. You know what I'm saying? So
No, I completely agree. Lotteries, you guys have weird lotteries. When I've read about it, it seems very strange. But I actually do. I started doing the lottery here. I think in about 2014 or something. Each year, I can tell you exactly. I make about 40 to £50 profit from doing £2 a week, I think. So I'm obviously breaking even. I'm making a profit, but it's not like I'm rolling from a lottery. It's just fun to do, I guess.
And MTMD said it's very expensive to learn to trade. I remember talking about this where it was like when I used to run a. No. Well, he said it's expensive money wise because.
I see.
Yeah, there you go. He said exactly what I was going to say there, where it's like the money that people lose when they're trading. I just call it tuition, because you're learning how to trade. You don't want to pay too much for tuition. That's why paper trading accounts are the best, especially like MetaTrader 4. I don't even know. They're probably on like 6 or 7 now. But when I first started with Forex, I would just, you put $10,000. It's like points. It's not actually $10,000, but you test your own theories, you test your own trading skills, and then you just see what you can turn that $10,000 into, and that's a good way to learn about yourself and whether or not you're good at what you're doing.
I would also probably recommend, and that is all fantastic advice, especially the paper trading piece. But go back and study some historical charts, man. If you're actually paying attention to the market and you have a real, genuine interest of, hey, I want to start to learn how to do this, because you're not gonna put in money, push button, make money. And if you do that, it's not gonna happen consistently. And consistency is key in this game.
It's probably luck.
Yeah, it's most likely luck. I mean, your first few winning trades are likely going to be luck. Hell, I've been trading for quite a bit, and I still get luck. That FCell trade I posted on my Twitter that I specifically posted, even though it was a sloppy execution I'm embarrassed of, is to show you what luck looks like, right? I would go back, and if you've actually studied the market and you're familiar with run it with things that have ran, whether it's in large caps or small caps, different sectors, study historical charts and learn setups. Study the volume, study the structure of how these setups work. Different candle structures that form breakouts over time, that form when you see prices going higher in hindsight, right? Am I still on the air?
Of course.
Yes, yeah.
Oh, no, I didn't know if I thought my Wi-Fi dropped off. I'm sorry. I keep hearing this shit in my headphones. So study how
I can't hear the snare in my headphones.
Study the structure of how these setups take place. How those, when you see something spike up and that pullback comes, how does that form up afterwards? How does the volume look? How does the volume correlate to the flow to the stock, the amount of shares available to trade, or the amount of coins available out there, if you're in crypto? Those historical charts are where you want to start, and then you want to take that and go into paper trading. And it's okay to take setups that you have seen, that you've already seen the historical chart for, because I guarantee you in that paper trading moment, and you don't think so because it's fake money, but your emotions will come into play, your brain will start working, and that'll give you an idea of what it's like to trade in a live market, because it's fucking hard. It's very hard. I took one guy that I'm doing one-on-ones with through watching one stock and trying to have him predict what it's going to do just in one intraday section. And he was not even operating the paper trader. He wasn't even making trades. He was just trying to guess. And those emotions started coming into play. And that's your biggest enemy in this game, is the emotions. So if that's a serious question and it's not a troll, what Max and Kaz told you, plus that little piece I just said, that's your best way to get started in this shit. But it's not an easy trip. You're not going to go ahead and start hitting home runs off the bat. And it's not going to become a career for you anytime soon, dude. It's going to take 3 years at best.
But if you do hit a home run, understand that, whenever I talk about trading and crypto trading specifically, people will be like, that's gambling. And my response to that is like, to me, it's gambling in the same way that poker is gambling, where like there is a chance aspect involved, but you can be good at it, right? It's not like, you remember we used to play a game called War when you were a kid, where it's just like you just pick a card, and, draw the top card. Yeah, that's not what this is. It's if to the extent that this is gambling, I would consider it more like poker, where yeah, it's gambling. There's a chance. There's an aspect of it. There's a dimension of it where it's based on luck and stuff like that. But you can get good at poker. So that's just the way I see it. And if there's another piece of advice we can give you is to stay away from fucking leverage trading.
Yeah.
Because there's no better way to fucking lose that $3,000 if than leverage trading.
Oh, dude,
Anything
I
with
know I've said
marginal
this. I know everyone's got these stories, but I was talking to a dude the other day who just got into stuff, and yeah, he he fucking wiped out his whole account in like seconds. So it wasn't good. Jojo said, "Can we get a nose check?" Not exactly sure what that means, but maybe.
I think he means you gotta. Maybe you got a little booger there, and you gotta. Get
Powdered donuts make me go nuts.
Yo, MTMD in the chat honestly just laid it out. It's all about odds, dude. Out of 100 times, how often can you replicate it, dude? If you can replicate a winning trade on a specific setup 70 times out of 100, you'll be fucking rich.
And he also says paper trading didn't work for him. I hear that. I hear that sometimes. I don't really know how to get around that if it doesn't work for you. I understand. It was a struggle for me to get into it, but yeah.
Yeah, it's odds and probabilities. Every time I pull up, when I do my little pattern spotting, I like my triangles, and whenever I see a triangle, I at least point it out to people in the chat. When I do my little technical analysis setups here, whenever I see a triangle, whenever I plot anything, I give you the probability of where it's going to go. In either, like, what's the probability of it going up from here every time these things appear? What's the probability of it going down? One of my buddies is even working on a thing where it just takes these. I don't know. He's a programmer. I'm gonna butcher my explanation of it, but he's gonna take, because I talk about how each coin has their own personality, right? Like Neo, for a long time was doing. You can play the Bollinger Bounce on Neo. The same with Cake. Bitcoin has its own thing. Ethereum, Asian markets tend to love Fibonacci lines. So while Bulkowski and the patternsite.com will give you probability based on 1,000 perfect trades, each coin or each token may have their own probability when it comes to certain triangles. Some people, like Bitcoin, will sometimes do the exact opposite thing that you think it was going to do because everybody is playing against you thinking that it's going to be doing that, right? Does that make sense? When you're trading, for anybody in here who's new, there's other people at the ends of these trades. When you buy, you're buying from somebody else. When you sell, you're selling it to somebody else. So if everybody thinks that a major resistance is about to be broken, there's bull traps and bear traps that people will play off your idea of what's supposed to happen, and you can't get caught there too. So it'd be good to do he has a little spreadsheet that whatever bot he programmed or whatever is going to get, if an ascending triangle appears on Bitcoin, what's the problem? Usually Bulkowski would say that it's like an 86% chance that it's going to break to the upside when it's at 3/4 of the way to the apex of the triangle. It has an 86% chance of breaking to the top, increasing in price. But maybe Bitcoin, maybe Ethereum, each one of these things may have their own probability that's completely uncorrelated to the traditional market idea of an ascending triangle. So I think it'd be interesting. I don't know if I don't know where he is on it, but yeah, just pay attention to the coins that you trade, and that's it. Just gauge the personality. Find out the personality of the thing that you don't fall in love. We don't love these hoes, right? We don't love.
Yeah, that's very important. Very, very
don't
important.
Fall in love because people will get in what's called a runaway trade, where it's like you buy something that you think is the bottom and you put so much money into it that you're basically just praying that it goes back up. You missed, if you don't have a stop loss in there and it fucking falls 40%, you're sitting there praying for it to come back. And even if it does, the best you can hope for is break even 3 months from now, and that's all that money's just sitting on the table. I hate having money off the unable to jump on something. If I see a potential bounce somewhere, if I see an ascending triangle somewhere, I want to have the liquidity somewhere. I want to have USDT in my account to throw at something and maybe scalp real quick.
Yeah. And I mean that just goes to managing your risk and what percent of your account you put into a trade. Teenagers from Mars in the chat, keeping trades small enough so you can survive 100 small trades is a good goal. Absolutely, dude. So it's all about risk management. It's all about trading smart, not going out there and trying to throw your dick on the table. And honestly, dude, Max, this is what we need to invest a little time, UI and Kaz, in doing these kind of chats in private and recording them and breaking them out into videos, because all this stuff is great teaching shit. And this show we'll go over charts, we'll do TA and stuff like that, we'll go over news, but really for the educational piece, it should be separate from the live show. Yeah. And I think we need to work on that as a team.
Like, just to say one last thing on it before we move on, it's just like, you'll develop your own strategy for how you trade, but there's general rules of thumb that can be applied everywhere. So you're going to learn how you trade. You're going to have your own little specifications and what you like to do. And everybody has like, baseball players will like not change their socks for a week or whatever. Everybody has their own superstitions and stuff, and you kind of incorporate those, and it's fun when it works. But there's little rules of thumb, like always have a stop loss 1.5% under your entry. And I had another, never trade more than I think for people who are a little bit more experienced, never trade more than 25% of what you have liquid, but 10% would be the rule of thumb. Never throw more than 10% of everything you have in your account at anything, because you would hate to have, if you have a Binance account with fucking $1,000 and you go balls in every time. If you don't have a stop loss, then you're just going to watch that thing chip away, and you're not going to be able to trade anything because you threw it all at one thing. Never do more than 10% of your account in any trade. So little rules of thumb like that, you take that into whatever you end up making your strategy. And yeah, let's do an education.
Yeah, because this will be some good stuff to throw into like little grouped on videos. Do women count as an asset? Bard answered that correctly. Not a liquid asset. A depreciating asset.
Yeah, it's depreciating. Bad investment.
You get better ROI on used cars. All right, so back into the Fed article. We got to get through this so you guys can touch on crypto.
I'll bring it back on screen. There we go.
Yeah, absolutely. So Bard asked the question in chat if this extends to their families. Now, I haven't read the fine print on this, but just going over the article, I didn't see anything about
probably not
their family members. No, they extend to spouse. Okay, let me not get ahead of myself. So, Federal Reserve officials won't be able to trade a slew of assets, including stocks and bonds, as well as cryptocurrencies, under new rules that became formal this Friday. Following up with regulations announced in October, the policymaking Federal Open Market Committee announced that most of the restrictions will take effect May 1st. The rules will cover FOMC members, it's Fed Open Market Committee, regional bank presidents, a raft of other officials, including staff officers, bond desk managers, Fed employees who regularly attend bond meetings, as well as their spouses and minor children. So they do feed the wives, and they can't open a little account for little Johnny, but it doesn't say nothing about your spouse's fucking brother, your cousin on your mommy's side, and this, that, and the third. So there are still workarounds, obviously.
Yeah. So I know you did say that, but it's not that many people covered by this. Then I guess. Just can we go back to who it covers?
Yeah, absolutely. Right here. Am I up?
So FOMC members, Federal Open Market members, regional bank presidents, and a raft of other officials, including staff officers, bond desk managers, and that's the thing, and Fed employees. What does that mean?
Like the receptionist at the Federal.
That's what I mean.
No. Fed employees who regularly attend board meetings. So this would not extend to this would not extend to Big Titty Tina at the front desk. This would only be for the guys upstairs who go to these meetings regularly. So again, a lot of loopholes.
What's Big Titty Tina's Twitter though? What's her Insta? She got a kick?
Oh yeah, at Double D Delicious with 2 Z's.
That's what's up.
Yeah. Anyway, so I think
fucking
this rule,
simping over egos.
I know, you're fucking stupid. No, it says, let's see, MTMD. It says May. It says May 1st. This will go into effect. Excuse me. So yes, plenty of loopholes as expected. I think this is a placation. This is a bill that is placating people who are crying about elected officials being able to trade. I think they'll say, oh, well, the people who work for the Fed, they're real close to money. So that's a conflict of interest. Mind you, I'm going to switch back to the chart here. This was being discussed in October, and there were a whole clutch of Fed officials that sold all their assets right here in this little pump back in December to avoid any conflicts of interest. And as you see, by luck, wouldn't you know it, they happened to sell the very top.
Very coincidental. I think what you're implying there is untrue.
Yes, it's
how
true.
dare
It's a very anti-Semitic implication.
Yeah.
I apologize. I will be releasing a tweet longer disavowing my previous statement.
Thank you.
So following up, we already went through that, blah, blah, blah. The Federal Reserve expects that additional staff will become subject to all or part of these rules after the completion of further review and analysis, or at least announcing the rules stated. The rules aim to support public confidence in the impartiality and integrity of the committee's work by guarding against even the appearance of any conflict of interest. So again, a placation rule, a bill to placate the unwashed plebs from crying, so Nancy can continue to make hand over fist on you guys as liquidity. Central bank officials acted after disclosures last year that several senior Fed officials had been trading individual stocks and stock funds just before the time the central bank adopted sweeping measures aimed at boosting the economy in the early days of the COVID spread. What does this word salad mean? That means they bought calls at the bottom because they knew that the Fed was going to start pulling out big dick money. They knew that Jay Powell was going to start printing his ass off. And they said, big green line go up, stocks only go up. I want calls, I want leaps, I want shares along. That's what that means. Regional presidents Eric Rosengren of Boston and Robert Kaplan left their positions following the controversy. Crypto ban. The announcement Friday extended the ban to cryptocurrencies like Bitcoin, which were not mentioned in the original announcement in October. Do you think they were holding any cryptocurrency, boys?
Yeah, I wonder.
Under the regulations, officials still holding market positions will still have 12 months to shed prohibited positions. So I guess that's what MTMD was talking about when he said it's going to be about a year. They will have 12 months to shed prohibited positions. A year? Really? You need a year to sell your shares? Okay. New Fed officials will have 6 months to do so. In the future, officials covered by the new rules must give 45 days notice before making any permissible asset purchase, a restriction that will go into effect July 1st. Then they'll have to hold those positions for at least a year and will be banned from any trading during periods of heightened financial market stress. That would essentially mean super high volatility, they can't play. There is no set definition of the term, of course, which will be determined by the Fed chair and the board's general counsel. Blah, blah, blah. None of the rest of this matters. Long story short, they are doing their best to placate you, to make you happy. And, are you guys happy? You placated?
I'm not happy. I'm not happy with the way they'd want to do this. I still maintain my first thought about it, that I'd rather they have although it's like obviously the idea of insider trading or stuff like that is kind of shitty. I still think it's good that I still think the incentive is a good thing for me personally.
Yeah, absolutely. For me, I think it's a bullshit bill. Do I think it'll lead to anything down the line? Maybe, maybe not. Congress is debating a measure that might restrict its members, but I don't know where that's going to go. I don't see it passing without serious demand for it, and without the media kind of siding with them on this, saying, hey, that's a good idea. They shouldn't be allowed to. If you don't have media outlets pushing that, your average NPC isn't going to care one way or the other. They're only interested in cutting their dicks off and raping kids. So on to rates real quick. I just want to touch on some talk that came out of the Federal Reserve this week about rates. We've got different offices that are kind of a little back and forth, not really in line with each other. Some of the first comments I noticed this week were on the 16th by Cash Carry. I can't remember his first name. It's some fucking Hindu name. I can't remember. He's more of the line of we cannot be too aggressive in the way that we raise rates because correctly, his correct line of thinking is that this can in turn hurt the economy. It can feed into a recession, which is true. If you do increase interest rates too quickly, it becomes too expensive to borrow. Interest rates are not just tied to your savings account; they are tied to mortgage rates, loan rates. So this goes across the board, right? So it will be very expensive to borrow. That can grind economic growth to a halt when it is too expensive to borrow and people aren't taking loans. So that is a correct thought process. But then you have Bullard, Kashkari, is the president of the Minneapolis branch. Then you have our friend Bullard, who we've spoken about on here before. He is the president out of the St. Louis branch. He is just balls deep. He wants, well, first of all, my favorite statement that he made in his speech on the 17th was the quote, "We have high inflation in the U.S." Thank you. I don't know how we would have known that without that statement. But essentially, he wants to go ahead and raise rates aggressively. He's saying that we're missing our inflation target by 300 basis points. He wants to have a 100 basis point rate in place by July. So I don't know if that's necessarily a good idea. I don't pretend to be an economist. I'm not. I am a Spurg who day trades. I understand volume. I'm not some economist. I don't think that a type of aggressive rate raise is necessarily a good thing. I do feel that could feed into a recession, but again, take my theory with a grain of salt. But this does show you there is a disconnect in communication between the different Fed branches. Our buddy out of New York, Mr. Williams, he thinks it's time to start normalizing the monetary process a little bit. He wants to see tapering. He wants to see raising of rates, but in a little bit of a slower fashion. And long story short, on March 2nd is when Jay Powell will be discussing monetary policy openly. So moving off, I'm sorry, go ahead, Max.
No, you got it.
All right, well, you just want to what?
No, I don't want you to hurt yourself trying to pronounce big words and stuff, but you're good. You're doing good.
Oh, I mean, I'm drinking, dude. I really don't care. Where are we? Oh, okay. So, you may not be familiar with the name John Hussman, Dr. John Hussman. It's not a household name like your Michael Burry's. No one's made a movie about this guy. But this is a gentleman that you should respect his opinion. I'll tell you why. First of all, this was one of the only people who anticipated the dot-com bubble back in the early 2000s. He saw that crash coming. He was also one who did see that financial crisis of 2008 coming, the subprime mortgage crisis. He has been bearish since the recession back in 2008. So now this is a guy, very intelligent guy, understands monetary policy, understands economics. He has a PhD. But he's been getting his ass kicked because he has been bearish since the Great Recession back in 2000. What was that? Was that 8? Was that 10? Somebody help me out. I've been drinking.
10?
Yeah, I think it was 10. I'm pretty sure it was 10. So in any event, being bearish from that time point, obviously you can tell that he's been getting his face ripped off, quite frankly, because if you're short in a market that is obviously favoring longs, you're going to lose money. So he recently came out and said that he believes that 72% of the market's value may be air. I think that is a very, very, very high percentage to kick out there. And just to illustrate that on a chart, 72%, let's even pull it from the very top, right? The very, very top of the SPY. A 72% decline would look like the SPY retreating to. You know what? That's well, if he's calling it from the top, that's not unrealistic. 72% decline from the top. Oh no, I'm sorry. No, I'm looking wrong. Boys, it's late.
Yeah, you got to
Fucking
zoom.
up.
I've had this fuck up with TradingView before, where shit, you need to zoom out when you're doing these.
I
If
don't
you
know
go to
why.
10-year or whatever, it'll be easier, I think.
Yeah, probably. Let's go to the monthly. I probably should have had this done already, being that I knew I was going to talk about this shit.
Probably. Holy shit! Wow.
What?
The incompetence. Holy shit.
No, the absolute incompetence. Okay, 72% from the top of the SPY would be 131.21. I don't think that all of this is air. I really don't. I think this is probably this guy feeding into his own thesis that he's been bearish since here, right? And all this doesn't make sense to him. And quite frankly, it shouldn't make sense to a ton of people. However, I think that this is quite an excessive call to see the SPY revisit these levels. I think if they were able to prop it through the COVID crash and kind of stop it here, I don't think they're going to let it drop all the way down to like 150, 130. I think that's nuts, quite frankly. But we're going to read what he has to say anyway because he's a smart guy. He knows a lot more than me. He's called some decent shit in the past. So stock valuations are at historic highs. By many measures, as the Fed begins to tighten monetary policy, many investors believe the central bank will soon step in and ease policy. According to John Hussman, the Fed won't be able to stop a crash once sentiment has been turned. That I do believe. I don't believe the crash will be as intense as he believes it to be, but I don't think the Fed will be able to step in and do the stopgap they did in COVID. I think they will have to let it naturally unwind organically, as organic as the market can be. Part of the reason stocks have surged to such historical levels over the past 2 years has been investor belief in Fed put, the idea that the Federal Reserve will step in to provide further accommodations if stocks drop below any significant amount. It's made investors insatiably bullish because the idea has been largely been legitimate. In the 18 months or so following the start of the pandemic, the Fed repeatedly assured investors that it was fully committed to providing its entire arsenal of support, ultra low interest rates, quantitative easing, aka injection of fucking tons of capital, and persistent long-term forward guidance that these policies would continue until the economy was back on track. But now things have gotten sticky as the Fed's uber dovish policies have helped fuel 40-year high inflation. It is now pulling support faster than it had planned, and it is expecting to hike interest rates several times this year. Yet the idea of the Fed put still lives on in the minds of at least some investors. This is partially because the Fed risks causing a recession itself if it tightens too quickly, which again is true, something we just talked about. If this happens, it'll likely back off its hawkish tilt and revert easier conditions for a time. Bank of America recently said that about 30% of fund managers they surveyed believe stocks have to be down at least another 16% for the Fed to step in again. Probably have to be more at this point. But even if that's the case, the central bank's easing won't be able to stop a mammoth stock market crash, according to John Hussman, the president of the Hussman Investment Trust, who called 2000 and 2008 market crashes. According to Hussman, investors mistake the Fed's relationships with stocks as mechanical, meaning they believe the Fed asset purchase and a low interest rate somehow prop up stocks in a definitive, real way. He is right. They do not work in a definitive, real way. It is artificial propping. Instead, Hussman said in a recent commentary that the real impact of dovish Fed policy on investor psychology. Once sentiment turns sour, the Fed can do little to quickly turn things around. He cited 2000 and 2008 crashes when stocks fell around 50% as example of times when the Fed was easing policy, yet stocks still suffered major downturns. He also cited market returns when its internals, which include valuations, were unfavorable and the Fed was easing versus other environments. I'm not going to go ahead and shill his fund. I agree with the majority of this. I do think people are too bullish. I do think, especially retail, but as broadly, I think people are way too bullish on markets as a whole. I think the stocks only go up meme is something that's deeply embedded in most people. Because you look at a historic chart, right? You look at a SPY monthly. It continues to go up over time, absolutely. But timing that, right? Getting in at the right place and being able to withstand these large drawbacks is something that not every investor, not every trader can do. Not everyone is Kathy Wood or Jim Cramer, who has unlimited capital to just keep fucking DCAing or to get inside information on how to time your trades. So it is very bad to be overly bullish on the market as a whole, over on any security. Trust the data in front of you. Do not listen to people on TV. Do not listen to people on Twitter. Learn how to properly interpret charts, interpret volume. There is a reason that on this show in October, my ass was telling you that the SPY is going to fucking go down. And I was wrong for quite a while. I started saying in October, somewhere around this point here, that we were going to see big drawbacks. And I was wrong. Volatility increased, new highs abounded, but the volume always tells the tale, right? And as the increased selling volume came, I stuck to my fucking story and said, no, we're going to see big drawbacks. Big drawbacks came. Jim Cramer didn't tell me this. Kathy Wood didn't tell me this. Some asshole on Wall Street didn't tell me this. The charts tell you this. It is all there in the data. It's just up to you to learn how to properly interpret it. Do you guys agree with that?
Yeah, for the most part, I agree.
Glad to hear. Am I on the air?
I do think sentiment is extremely important with these things. What people are thinking about right now is, I don't know. I think it's very important, even better than the chart in some cases. I know you're going to disagree because, technical analysis is more important for you guys. But I don't know. I think if everyone does one thing, then that's what's going to happen. But you are right with what you say about retail investors thinking, chart, only goes up, stocks only go up. They're too bullish. It's always the case. They're very, very bullish. They see these things in the news. They see a news article saying, XYZ is, gone up by like 10%, and they think, okay, I'm going to buy now because it's only going to go up, and then it doesn't. Then they're surprised. As for I don't know whether that can be beaten out of people. I don't think it can be. I think people are always going to think this, especially retail investors are always going to think this. Max, what do you think? He's dead.
You gotta stop handing it over to me, dude. If I'm
I did it on purpose, dude.
Yeah, we just want everybody to see how lazy you are, dog.
I'm not lazy, dude. I'm just fucking scrolling.
Yeah. Have you got anything else on that, Ava?
Nah, just a couple of quick shits on Jim Cramer, which I realize I'm gonna have to pass over to you, because you're gonna have to play the video.
I will play the video. Where is the video?
It's coming.
Okay. After this, I can
in private chat.
Yeah, got it. After this, I can run through a couple of things and then lead on for Max. My dog's jumping around. Great. Okay.
Is that what that is?
Yeah. Did you hear him cry a little bit?
Yeah, I heard some ooh. I was afraid to ask whose chick is in the background wanting attention.
I always want to find the next Tesla, don't you?
Oh shit! This is auto playing. Hang on. Let me stop that. Let me get this on screen. Where are you, Brave? Okay. Is it just gonna misbehave? Why is it not showing on screen? Oh, there it is. Okay. Right. Let me move that around. I'll open up the Discord stream in a moment. Okay. The title of this one. Oh my god. I bet he doesn't even know what Roblox is.
It's very funny.
I mean, I don't obviously know too much about it, but I've seen, I know what it is, but it's just funny the fact that he's talking about this. Okay, transition and video. Oh shit. Screen. There we go. Okay. Go live. Right, you should now see that on screen. I think I've got that. There we go. All right, got you on screen. Got it on Discord.
Yep, we're good to go.
Cool. Okay. Do you want to intro this, or should we just go straight into it?
Yeah, I mean, it speaks for itself. Jim Cramer likes Roblox. This is as of December 6th. This video is from December 6th of this year. Jim Cramer sells you on Roblox and why it's his favorite junior growth stock.
Okay, let's see what he says.
Now, I always want to find the next Tesla, don't you? And I think Lucid has the best chance on this list. Rivian may be away from it. Rivian's on the list. But now they're the target of an SEC investigation to merger with a SPAC to come public. Suboptimal. The cannabis and gaming stocks used to have a lot of promise, but both industries have become crowded. The federal government isn't giving them the supply they need. They don't have the...
Just to pause a second. I can barely understand a word he's fucking saying. Is this just me?
No, he's talking like the fucking drunk leaning off the stool of the bar at 1 a.m. in the morning trying to tell you about his favorite band. I swear to God, I just want to find the next Tesla. Fucking stupid.
It's fucking crazy how he talks.
And this cocksucker, I want to find the next Tesla. Tesla IPO'd in 2010, in May of 2010, I think. And they IPO'd at 17, and Cramer the night before spent his whole show shitting on them, saying how they were going nowhere because all they produce is a Roadster. Fucking asshole. I'm sorry, please.
I'll continue.
The support, okay? Here's what they really need. They need nationwide gambling, and they need nationwide use of cannabis for recreational. I'm not getting it right now. I know the memesters want me to pick GameStop, but that's more of a stock than a company. I prefer things to be the other way around. I see some potential in Dutch Bros. Now, that's BRS is like, don't call it Dutch Brothers, please. It's a regional to national coffee store. You see Starbucks? Maybe this today was fantastic. This could be the next Starbucks, but it's awfully early. Uber and Lyft.
Can you see how this? I turned this on just to see what it would do. I think this is doing auto subtitling. Is it just not working right because of his voice? I don't know.
But their profitability is far from assured. There are some healthcare names that could be interesting. 23andMe, GoodRx, Teladoc, but they've really been ugly of late. And they'll never be huge like the senior growth names I mentioned earlier, because that's what I'm looking for. However, there are some exciting stories here that could be gigantic long-term winners. Let me give you my 5 favorites. I'll come back to these time and again. Number 1 junior growth name is Roblox. That's the online gaming platform. It makes it easy for users to create their own content and share it with friends. Think of Roblox as the true inventor of the metaverse. For a while, this one was viewed as a pandemic play, like Zoom or DocuSign. But it's one of the few that has transcended that now, like a Chicola. I am a big fan of CEO Dave Baszucki, and I think you need to treat any further weakness as a buying opportunity. It's pretty much of a gift here, frankly. Next up, we don't have inventory thanks to the supply chain crisis. Well, you know who doesn't have that problem? It's a company called Etsy. I think that Etsy and Shopify are the 2 great empowerment stories.
I think that was it on Roblox.
Score, but Etsy's more visible, a place where younger people.
I don't know if you had, but then I'll bring this up then. You know, Roblox has had this issue where there's like loads of shit going on. I believe they're now down. Well, they were down some huge percent after bad earnings. Do you remember that?
I do. I just pulled up the other tickers he mentioned, and I want you guys to. I'm gonna pull these charts, Kaz, because there is a fucking pattern to the way Cramer calls his tickers, man.
There's got to be. It's currently down 27. This is Roblox down 27.1%.
Well, here, pull
your.
Pull my chart live here.
Okay. Let me disconnect that, and then bring you up. It's crazy how he fucking talks. Like, it's barely understandable.
Bro,
It just sounds wasted all the time.
dude, Fed does not sound that bad after a 6-hour bibble babble. Like, I mean, and someone said that he sounds worse than Avon. I think Bard said he sounds worse than Avon after a 4-hour Bullstream. I mean, the guy is fucking wasted all the time. People are putting their money behind this fucking drunk. Oh, it's crazy.
Oh, I'd love to know. I'd love to know how much he moves specific tickers.
I don't think he moves them, at least not to the upside.
I know. I don't think he does. But like, I'd love to. There's got to be some amount. How much money? How much volume is his audience personally pushing? It would be interesting to know. Yeah, I've got you on screen.
Okay, great. So this is when Kramer called Roblox his favorite growth stock on December 6th. Any dip is a buying opportunity. It's a gift. This, ladies and gentlemen, is the gift of Jim Cramer that keeps on giving a consistent, fucking sharp downward trend with huge downside volume. Look at this gap down, man. I think they just put out ass earnings too. But this white dotted line, if you guys, I think I've touched on this briefly before. This is the volume profile. This shows you the amount of shares being held in a specific visible range on the chart. This would be considered a value area. This is called the point of control. This is where the most shares that are held on the time frame you're looking at in this visible period. As you can see, the point of control is something that you would think would prop a stock, right? If it's a healthy stock and maybe it's a dip buying opportunity, in the area where all those shares are concentrated, it probably shouldn't break under. And they gapped the fuck under hard. They're well below the 200-day moving average, which only started on 12/21 because this is a new fucking company. And it is not looking good. You are in uncharted territory to the downside, as you can see. All demand in this area.
Oh, they're below their price.
IPO. Shit. Below the IPO. And look at the selling volume. The highest volume this stock has ever seen is to the downside.
Oh.
But I want you to, and listen, you know what? Right now, it might be a fucking dip buy opportunity. I don't know shit about Roblox. I don't know shit about the fundamentals. Nothing on this chart tells me to buy this sack of shit. However, you never know. But I'm not going to sit here and tell people like Kramer, oh, this is a great opportunity. He called this a gift. He called this a fucking gift. The gift.
I think he called it a gift.
Yeah, a gift of being down fucking 60%. 60% from December. It is 60% down for Jim Cramer's call. But let's. He mentioned a few other tickers before we cut the.
There was Etsy.
Video. There was Etsy and there was Shopify. Do you notice a similar pattern of price action?
Just to be, I guess, fair here, would we not say that everything has happened like this?
That everything what?
Would we not say most stocks, tech stocks specifically, have gone down significantly since then?
Yeah, I mean, I think that is fairly safe to say, but most tech stocks have been down because they were overvalued to begin with. And this is somebody who's stepping into an already overvalued environment telling you that it's a gift. Buy it.
Yeah, I mean, you shouldn't. I think most. This is not going to be true, is it? But I think we would know that this is highly overvalued. It's a very common talking point. So going in on these things, especially at this time, would have been a very bad idea.
Yeah, that's very true. So, I mean, I noticed a pattern, and not only this, I think a firm, which I wasn't going to touch on much because I didn't do much looking into other than the fact that it's insanely down since he called it. I don't know a ton about it, but Shopify, Etsy, we all know what they are. They all fit into a very similar chart pattern, though, and I don't know if this is because of the index or this is just how Kramer likes to call his shit. I was actually going to start trying to track all his fucking call-outs, do a whole spreadsheet, and then I discovered Inverse Kramer ETF. So I'm not going to step on his game. I'm going to let him keep doing that. He's already got a very nicely sized Twitter account. So I'll just take his content and use it here. However, if you look, there is a pattern. Let's split this into 3 charts so we can take a look and see what Kramer's layouts look like. Etsy, Shopify, Roblox. And of course, my arrows didn't stay. So December 6th. And December 6th. Ooh. Look at how this seems to work. It seems to be the top gets thrown in. We see pullbacks. We see failures to make new highs. We see further pullbacks, which confirm a downtrend. And what happens? Kramer calls it. And we get a little pop. And we get a little pop. And we get a little pop. And we get a few days of consolidation for whoever he's helping out to rinse out shares into y'all. And if you notice, it's about 3 or 4 days after that pop, continued consolidation, and then they pull the rug on you. And we already know Roblox was down 60%. Shopify, from when he called it, is down 50%. Roughly 45-50% on Shopify.
Well, do you remember we were seeing a lot of CEOs selling all their shit? Was it towards the end of December? I can't remember. We were seeing like I think Bezos did. Or we saw some big CEOs. Oh no, was it? It might have been Musk. I don't know. Anyway, I remember we were talking about this. Like a lot of CEOs were selling off, and I think we talked about it as a sign. But hey, who knows?
Yeah. Why isn't Kramer calling gifts on unknown biotech firms downstream of big pharma, assuming his intent isn't to take scalps off those who take his advice? What do you mean by unknown biotech firms downstream of big pharma? Are you talking about small cap biotechs? Kramer usually doesn't go into small caps. He caters to a community of retail boomers who view penny stocks or small caps much like they would view cryptocurrency, a market that's volatile and wildly manipulated, that's not a true fair market like large caps and blue chips, which are totally fair and not manipulated whatsoever. So I don't see Kramer calling out a ton of small caps. That's the only thought process I would connect when you say unknown biotech firms. Unless you have an example of a specific company you're talking about, I think small cap biotechs. That's why I don't think he does, because he stays away from that small cap area. He wants to portray that big investor. I trade big companies, I trade blue chips, and I make a ton of money, and I'm going to show you how to do it. And idiots listen. So yeah, future Modernas, yeah, so small cap biotechs. Yeah, he doesn't talk about small caps literally at all. And I think that's the reason. And please, don't talk about small caps. Stay out of my lane. Talk about blue chips, talk about the indexes, talk about growth and value. Stay out of small caps. Let the makers run the setups that they've run. I'm getting a good habit of learning how they like to paint these things, and I don't need anyone fucking that flow up. Let's see. Last thing I got on Kramer for you guys, before I hand it over to Max and Kaz, is that we got great news for Bitcoin buyers from our friend at Inverse Kramer ETF Tracker. Store of value, great hedge. I don't know. What do we think, Bitcoin people? Kramer says Bitcoin is shit. Might be time to buy.
He's never liked it. He's such a. You're exactly right. How he only focuses on big cap, blue chip stuff. And it's so typical of like boomer type, isn't it? They would never ever like put any value in low cap penny stock type things. And that's the same with crypto. You know, boomers, they see IBM. I'm going to buy IBM. Fucking Microsoft, IBM.
Well, it goes back to that old retail, investor trader mentality that's been around since the 20s. That's been around since people started pushing retail into the stock market. People want to own stuff they're familiar with. People want to be able to say, yeah, I own a piece of Folgers, I own Ford, I own Macy's. They want to own the stuff they like, right? And also, I mean, listen, I'll say this: the way he stays away from small caps and things like that, because boomers, don't have much of a respect for small caps. You shouldn't have respect for small caps. They're trash companies. They're trading under $10 for a fucking reason. It's because they're all garbage. They're all fucking ass. Next Moderna, next Tesla, you're not going to find these things in the small cap market. And if you do, it's a 1 in a million shot. Small caps are for people who understand that the market is a vehicle to make money with your existing money, not a savings account that you want to see a higher yield than you'll get out of a bank. So small cap companies are shit. If you want real investments, you should be looking at blue chips and large caps and all that stuff because the companies that make money are there. You shouldn't. And I say this to say I see so many people on Twitter all the time tweeting about small cap stocks being the next big thing. And you're literally retarded. Like, you're literally fucking stupid. And you shouldn't think like that because they're penny companies for a reason. Gevo was a company I loved last year. I was trading them from 99 cents. I knew they were going to be a huge deal. They fucking ran hard. I didn't get a piece of the whole move because I traded it. I didn't just buy and hold it. But they went to like fucking something retarded, like $40. They're back trading at $3.50 because they're shit. So, I mean, I say, and this doesn't tie to crypto. I can't speak on crypto, but I can speak on small caps with some level of authority. If you see someone on Twitter telling you this small cap is going to be the next big thing, they are a retard. If you see someone on Twitter saying, hold it, it's going to the moon, bro, they are a retard, and they will blow up 5 accounts, and they will get banned from different brokerages, and they will get margin called, and you don't want to be behind them. I don't know why I went off on that tangent.
I think you're right. Okay. I can cover some quick things and then lead on to Max.
Yeah, I'm going to pull my screen down.
Yeah, I'll do these very brief things and then I'll lead on to you since that's what you wanted.
Yeah, I don't know what you're going to be talking about because I got some stuff here too, and I think I'm okay to do to go through them if you want.
Do you want to just go straight into it?
Yeah.
Okay, cool. It's just because know earlier on you wanted to do that way around, but yeah, we can do that.
Yeah, that was when I was really fucking sleepy earlier, but that apple and I farted a couple of times and now I'm back. And I looked at the
I hope it's not a shot,
BTC
dude.
chart. I looked at the Bitcoin. I looked at the Bitcoin chart that we made together, the ascending triangle that I spotted at the bottom of a trend, and dude, it's crazy how it worked out exactly the way that. Yeah, so there's gonna be a brag at the end of this, and I'm gonna show you exactly why these things work.
It's good. It fits fits your brand that we're building here.
It is my brand that I am building. All right, let's.
The brand of not talking into the microphone. The brand of being quiet. Yeah, it fits in.
Hold on, am I not talking into the mic? Hold on. All right, we're good. We're good. Let's go.
Yeah, if you want to bring your screen up, I'll bring you up.
Fantastic. All right. Do I do
click screen
applications?
There we go.
All right, we'll start there.
Okay, we've got you on screen. Oh, not properly. Let me sort that out. There's some weirdness with the Discord layout. There we go. Okay, we've got a picture on screen of someone. Is this your porn?
What?
What?
Yeah. All right. Yeah, I see it on screen. Oh, dude, you gotta pull out a little bit. No, let's
pull out.
Push it in deeper.
No, I think I got it. Hell yeah. Oh, there it is. Hell yeah, dude. Go to buffguypillowfights.com and Get comfy. We'll start there, right? I thought this was so cool. I got stickers printed up. I got a 2,000 of them. We're gonna have our street teams all around the country. Just start putting these up everywhere. Make sure you go to buffguypillowfights.com. Go ahead and get comfy. So yeah, let's start with what I was talking about earlier. Right now, this is how long Avon has been talking. I hope you guys lasted through that. But yeah, Biden is to issue his executive order on crypto this week, says a report. Excuse me. The Biden administration is reportedly expected to issue an executive order on cryptocurrency this week, and it will direct a wide range of government agencies to come up with government-wide strategy to regulate crypto assets. We talked about this a lot. This executive order that scared everybody out of the market a couple of weeks ago basically is just the administration saying that they need a committee, a special regulatory committee to devise regulatory action on cryptocurrency to sort of measure the costs, the benefits versus the pros versus cons when it comes to cryptocurrency. Biden has nothing to do with this. He's the president. He's the biggest figurehead of a president I've ever even known to exist. It's not his. This isn't his brainchild. This is his administration doing work for him because people are making money and government wants their cut. Remember that thing? If you watched the Bibble Babble this morning, the thing where was it a Stone Toss comic where it was like this homeless guy that's like, I'm going to collect all these bottle caps, and then the government agent is like, well, those are worth nothing, and he goes, good, and then it waits a little bit, and then the government agent goes, give me all those fucking bottle caps right now. Like that's exactly what Bitcoin is, right? Everybody's just making fun of it. It's not worth anything, and now all of a sudden, everybody wants their cut. This is what I was. This is what Avon covered earlier. But yeah, the senior federal officials and everybody down to Big Titty Tina at the front desk can no longer buy crypto. I thought this was cool. We'll get into the metaverse in a little bit because if you were paying attention to one of the last screens over here, there's a lot happening in the metaverse when it comes to traditional markets as well. And some big players who were very crypto skeptic earlier. There's some pretty funny news coming out. But yeah, I just thought this was cool. There's a metaverse where Rome sold for $120,000. Just wanted to wrap that up real quick. What am I looking at here? I don't remember. Yeah, I thought this was a cool news story as well. This happened a couple of days ago. This happened yesterday. There are crypto enthusiasts. There are people trying to raise $4 billion to buy the Denver Broncos. I don't know if you know about, how when people say we won the championship, we won the Super Bowl? The only people that can really say that is the city of Green Bay, because that is a publicly owned team, and I always thought that was really cool. So yeah, getting into this here, an eclectic mix of crypto enthusiasts are trying to pool together $4 billion to buy the football team, the Denver Broncos. The group, which is comprised of attorneys, accountants, and pro athletes, is doing this crypto crowd raise via Decentralized Autonomous Organization, or DAO. You know what DAOs are. Unlike a normal pool of investors, DAOs rely on cryptocurrency technology to track and validate participation in the group, as well as to facilitate an inner working of how to raise and distribute large amounts of cash. I just thought it was cool that, just in the same light as all these other populist movements that are creeping up, the Denver Broncos are up for sale, and a group of people with Bitcoin want to buy it. I think that'd be fucking awesome. Yeah, and Tox in chat says, imagine wasting money on a sports ball team. Some of the richest people in the world wasted their money on sports ball teams, and they're fucking even richer now. But here's what I wanted to get into. I just thought this was cool. Don't participate in any DAOs if you don't want to. Don't fucking, the added legitimacy to the marketplace. This is what I thought was cool. This name in particular, I'm sure you're familiar with it. JP Morgan.
No, I've not heard of them. Who are they?
Who?
Well, it's a global investment bank.
Never heard
What's
of
a
them.
bank?
And is Jamie Dimon associated with JP Morgan?
Who's Jamie Dimon? Is that the? Oh wait. Is that the one porn star who fucked Alexis Texas over the couch in that one thing?
No.
Oh, okay.
Hold on a second. So there was J.P. Morgan has been pretty. The members of the J.P. Morgan, the upper crust, used to be so anti cryptocurrency, and now I'm about to show you a couple of stories at how. Let me see here. Is Jamie Dimon? Yeah, he's the CEO of JP Morgan. He was famously against cryptocurrency, and while he was telling everybody that, he was amassing a large sum of Bitcoin for himself. So now he's really pro crypto, and he is allegedly the most powerful banker in the world. Yeah, and so their long-term prediction for Bitcoin is 150,000, and I think they said something along the lines of Ethereum going to 12,000 or something like that in the second quarter or in the second half of 2022. Let's see if we can. Wow, I'm about to get to that last name in a second. We'll see how I do. Global investment bank JP Morgan has predicted that the long-term price of Bitcoin is exactly what we just said it was. Right now, it's sitting at around $38,000, $39 last time I checked. The biggest challenge for Bitcoin going forward is its volatility. We know that. Global Investment Bank revealed the prediction as well as the cryptocurrency's fair value. And the reason why they're saying this right now is for the next article that I'm about to pop into. The strategist for JP Morgan Chase is Nicholas Panikirtzoglou. I shouldn't have even fucking tried it. He wrote in a research note published on Tuesday that the long-term theoretical price is 150,000. That's up from their previous prediction, 146,000. That'd be pretty cool for everybody, and I don't think I need to say that. But here's why they're saying that. I know you guys are familiar with the metaverse, right?
Yeah, absolutely. It's
JP Morgan.
It's a more expensive VR chat, right?
Well, yeah, it's like it's a universe. There's a bunch of different companies, a bunch of different 3D companies are just having their own little sandbox places. But
Where do they keep pedophiles?
JP Morgan opened up a bank in the metaverse. They opened up their offices in the metaverse a few days ago, and they're betting that this particular one here, or that the metaverse generally, is going to be a $1 trillion marketplace in the near future. So no wonder they're pushing, this new prediction of $150,000 because they're invested in it now, right? So they're a big believer in the metaverse becoming the first bank to open an office in it. The metaverse refers to a convergence of virtual, augmented, and in-person reality. The entire tech industry seems to be pivoting towards it, with Facebook even changing its name to Meta to better position itself to lead the way. JP Morgan appears to be going all in and became the first bank to open its office in it. So yeah, it's called the JP Morgan Lounge or something like that, and it is at the Metajuku Mall in Decentraland. Decentraland is a cryptocurrency-focused metaverse with Mana, I believe, being the native currency there.
That's awesome. So now their analysts can pull 24/7 days, right?
Exactly, right? And then you can go to the bank, and everything that you're trying to escape is now coming to you. So visitors are greeted by a digital. Oh, here you go. There's your man.
Not at all horrible.
The visitors are greeted by a digital portrait of Jamie Dimon and a roaming tiger.
A roaming tiger, really?
There's a tiger walking around, dude. Yeah, this is big cat energy, bro.
This motherfucker thinks he's the digital Scarface, bro.
Yep. Yeah. JP Morgan believes the metaverse could eventually be worth worth $1 trillion annually, as its virtual worlds infiltrate every sector in some way in the coming years. A company like JP Morgan setting up offices in the metaverse may be the biggest endorsement yet of its potential value. I'd like to see what happened to Decentraland and Mana after this. That'd be pretty interesting to see. Yeah, so here's just a wrap up of what happened. They become the first major bank. The Marshall Islands opens up to DAO registrations. That's basically what we were just talking about, how people can invest, fund different projects and stuff with with cryptocurrency exclusively. And then the New York Stock Exchange is now. Okay, so I just wanted to get to those things there.
And here's what a lot of people were talking about this week was that, this weekend was that 100 or $1.7 million in NFTs were stolen in an apparent phishing attack. Now, I want to show you the difference between this article and this article and why everybody hates Kotaku. Because if you know anything about this, what happened, this wasn't a hack. This wasn't a hack on OpenSea. This wasn't anybody breaking in, finding private keys or anything like that. It was literally, we were talking about, MTMD and I were talking about in last time we did stream, that, there were like people posing as MetaMask, people posing as Binance, sending emails that were getting filtered out of into my junk mail. But one of them did get through, and it looked pretty official. Coinbase saying, "Oh, we're updating our registrations. We need your private key so that we can, upgrade your account or shift your account over into the new thing." A hacker didn't steal anything. It was a fucking phishing. Those emails we were just talking about, it worked. It worked. And 254 tokens were stolen over 3 hours. People just responded to the phishing thing, typed in their private key, copied and pasted. They thought it was completely legitimate. And they got scammed. This wasn't a breach of any sort. It was just, straight up old fashioned Nigerian prince type scam.
Just typical social engineering here. And, they've put this out like it's a huge ass thing, right? But even if, let's assume this was anything remotely real, all their smart contract shit is public. People can analyze this. So this would have happened a long time ago. And also, we're not talking about a lot of money here. 1.7 million at the time, who cares?
I do like the fact that the Kotaku article had the word worth in quotations. That was pretty fucking funny. NFTs worth millions.
Yeah, they're so out of touch. It's like they're not even worth even paying attention to anymore, even when it comes to gamer shit, whatever people read Kotaku for. But just to explain what exactly happened, the CEO or the main guy at OpenSea basically explains what happens. Let's see. Yeah, the CEO, Devin Finzer, on Twitter described the attack in two parts. First, by the way, this is what I was referring to earlier. 32 people were, where was it? Yeah, targeting 32 users in total. This wasn't an exploit on the network itself. It wasn't. We'll explain in a second. There was 32 targets, right? They wanted to steal the coins. Or they wanted to steal the NFTs from. Let's see here. So he described the attack in two parts. First, targets signed a partial contract with the general authorization and large portions left blank. With the signature in place, attackers completed the contract with a call to their own contract, which transferred ownership of the NFTs without payment. In essence, targets of the attack had signed a blank check. And once it was signed, attackers filled in the rest of the check to pay to take their holdings. If you ever go to a website, if you ever go to, what is it called? Pancake Swap, Sunday Swap. If you ever go to any of these websites, make sure it is the website that you're going to, because what's going to happen in your browser is you're going to get a little check. What's it called? Whatever your wallet is, if you're using a browser wallet like Yoroi or MetaMask, it'll ask you if it's okay to sign this transaction. If you don't know what website you're on, or if it looks, just make sure you check the URL, because they'll clone the website, make it look exactly like it is, and ask you to sign a contract to give them access to the wallet. Make sure you're on where you're supposed to be, because this is how this shit happens. And people that were just buying and selling NFTs casually got scammed out of fucking, what was it, $1.7 million in NFTs.
And one other thing about, I'm not sure about other ones, but at least for MetaMask, a tiny defense here is if you do go on a different site, it'll prompt, do you want to allow this new site to have access as well? So that should be another sign that you're on the wrong thing. But yeah, carry on.
Yeah, so everybody's screaming about there being a hack. Everybody likes to well, people who are trying to spread FUD like these stories. Oh, I just got a match on Bumble. She's
Oh,
cute. She
Big
has
Teeny
cos-
Tina hitting you up, bro.
Somebody, dude. Yeah. What was I saying? Oh, that like a lot of people who like to spread FUD are they love posting shit like this, like, oh, there's another hack here, there's another exploit here. They try to just fucking people who have already made the decision on Bitcoin, and if they don't like it, we're gonna see articles like the Kotaku one, where they basically just saying, oh yeah, here's another reason why cryptocurrency is bad, and just fucking find out the information yourself. Look at as many sources as you can, or like just have a basic understanding of smart contracts, and you'll understand exactly what happened here. Somebody sent them a link, they went to it, they approved the contract, and then when the contract got shifted back to the quote unquote hacker, they just exploited their wallets that they now have access to. So that's what happened there. Here was the big story that I wanted to get to last, or Kaz and I were talking about it pretty extensively, going over the press releases and the Department of Justice and what they had to say about it. But this couple here, where are they at? Oh god, this video has nothing to do with it, does it? So there was a couple arrested in an alleged $4.5 billion crypto laundering scheme. This couple right here. I don't know if you remember, Kaz, we were talking about this?
Yeah, I can't even remember if we talked about it on stream. See?
No, we didn't. We were getting ready for a stream. And then for whatever reason we didn't do one that night.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. So this couple here had a pretty intricate. There was the Bitfinex back in the day was another quote unquote hack. There may have been security issues back then when it came to was it Bitfinex?
Yeah, it's Bitfinex. Yeah.
Yeah, so this article from 2016 explains what happened. Nearly 100. This is a cool little time capsule here, right? This is the origins of the story that we'll get back to in a second, but nearly 120,000 units. Nobody knew shit about anything back then, huh? 120,000 units of digital currency Bitcoin worth about 72 million at that fucking time was stolen from the exchange Bitfinex, rattling the global Bitcoin community as the second biggest security breach ever of such an exchange. There was a slump in the same vein as the Mt. Gox attack, which stole about 500 million. Yeah, and it plunged 23%. Oh, it'd be interesting to see what it was at this time. But yeah, Bitfinex had to pay a $75,000 fine because of the breach, and this is who did it. This couple right here, and we'll get back to it in a second because him and his wife are TikTok stars. You remember this?
I do remember this.
This is so funny. Holy shit.
Have we got the clips that we collected?
Mm-hmm. Yep. So here's what they splurged on: gold, NFTs, and a $500 Walmart gift card. Dude, if you have first of all, if you're gonna scam something, you remember how the guys in Office Space took 1 cent out of every one of their client, the company that they were working for, they took 1 cent out of everybody's account, and it's so insignificant and unnoticeable. And their whole thing, they got like $110,000 or something, that check at the end of the movie. Like if you have this kind of know-how and you can scam what $4.5 billion? Like, let's fucking take it easy.
Dude,
chill the fuck out.
What are you still doing in the US?
Yeah,
You-
get fucking
you stole-
evac.
You stole $4.5 billion, and I can't help but say billion any other way like this. Billion, bro. $1 billion. Go buy an island. Go to a non-extradition country.
Like, people with $4.5 billion, like, that's money where you make people disappear and you can disappear if you want to, right? That's like wet work contract fucking money. And they were sort of flaunting it to each other that once the DOJ got
got, I think it was they got access to one of their private keys. Well, there was a search and seizure of one of their computers or something like that, and then on that they got the private key, and that's how they were able to identify the wallet, find out where it was going and who it was. There was a. We'll get to the press release in a second and how intricate. It was all this guy's idea basically, and she's out there on TikTok fucking talking about how rich she is and shit like that, but fucking unbelievable. And so they had it. Yeah, they had a bag
Before you
labeled
get into
burner
the
phones.
clips, I'm so sorry. Before you get into the clips, I know I'm stepping on you, but we got 2 super chats that I missed. I just want to
yeah?
make sure they get the attention. Our buddy Deluxe 247 for the big 5 coffees. I think 6. I don't know. I can't do the math. What's your guys' opinion on Canadian government freezing and seizing protesters' finances, and will it happen here? I think it's shitty, and no, I don't think it will happen here yet. Boys, you want to give an opinion on that for the next one?
Yeah, so, this has been happen. We've seen this in the pipeline for a while, right? Or on the horizon, whatever the word is. I think it will happen fairly soon in other countries if we don't see significant pushback to this. Now, we saw Trudeau cancel the parliament or whatever Friday and fuck the debate up, which was fucking hilarious. I hope that can be looked into more by some people. I hope that turns out to be something that can be clamped down on. We should really be seeing other big countries call this out, but we're not. We're seeing them encourage it. We're seeing Biden encourage it.
Actually, I'll see if I can find it. A whole coalition of people from none other than Israel wrote a letter denouncing Canada. I'm going to go find it while you guys finish up.
Yeah, see if you can grab that. I want to see government types. I would rather have seen, obviously, I'd rather have seen Biden come out and say, what the fuck are you doing? This is the fucking craziest shit he's ever seen. I'd like Boris to say stuff. This should be a worldwide condemnation. Even, when protests were happening in the US, BLM, you saw, not protests, the Jan 6 thing happened. You saw everything would refer to it as insurrection, no matter what. You'd never see the media refer to it as a protest. Whereas you've got the media and the government themselves in Canada using the word protest. Like, they know it's a protest. And they're still dicking these people around. And it's fucking disgusting. And going after the finances is like one of the sickest things these people could do. We don't do this to murderers and rapists, pedos, thieves, all of these people. We don't go after the finances unless it's related to what they're doing.
Because you're unpersoning someone. You're taking the ability to participate in society as a whole. Like debanking someone, financially unpersoning someone has got to be one of the worst. Like, if you get someone fired, right? Yeah, it'll be hard to get another job. It's deplorable, but like, you can come back for that. Financially unpersoning someone is the worst thing you can fucking do. It's fucking reprehensible.
And we were seeing debanking in America a little bit, and I think in the UK, but I think this is worse because they're actually freezing the accounts. They're stopping money. The debanking, at least people got their money. In this case, it's worse because they're actually essentially stealing your money. I don't even know what's going to happen with that. I saw that police chief or whatever that police guy was saying that they're going to be using cameras and shit to track these people down for months to come, years to come. So, like, imagine you just turn up to this protest, you're not doing anything, you're just hanging out, and then a year down the line, your shit gets clamped down on, and then you're asked to like prove this in court that you were doing nothing wrong. Dude, it's scary shit that's happening in Canada.
Yeah, very, very much so.
Dude, it's fucked.
Absolutely, dude. It is fucked. I personally would like to, morally, I support, what's going on up there. I think What's happening to Canadian citizens is fucked up. Got a couple of buddies that we talked to in the Discord from Canada. I've got business associates that originate from Canada. Good people, good citizens. The government is treating them in a very fucked up way. Hope they get that figured out. I did send you that letter in the DM, Kaz. While you're looking at that, Max, do you have a take on this question?
Yeah, I was actually going to talk about it. It's later on in my
Awesome.
later on in the
Yeah, so address that in your things. I don't want to step on your shit anymore. An Ethan Ralph troll account sends $3. Says, please send me more corn cobs and kiwis, fresh out of that. Buy corn futures and send us more money. So Kaz, if you want to pull the letter, or if you want to let Max go back into his bit, whatever. I just didn't want these super chatters to get.
I will bring this letter up quickly. Where are we? Is that Discord going to show up? Okay, I'll just show all of our super secret DMs that obviously we would never want to leak to the world. Here we go.
Oh, yeah.
Right, that's on screen. So this is to the Right Honourable Trudeau. As in many countries since the outbreak of COVID pandemic, Canadians have been subjected to draconian restrictions placed on their basic freedoms, such as lockdowns, forced quarantines, mask mandates, school closures, and more recently, the vax mandate. Leaders all over the world have begun to realize that these measures carry enormous harms with little to no benefit. Others double down on their previous position, denying the evidence and aggravating the damage done to their nation's livelihood and fundamental liberties. So then goes into one of the worst parts of this. We witnessed mounting concern how instead of constructive dialogue with the protesters, you, Mr. Trudeau, adopted a smear by association campaign, portraying the protesters as Nazi sympathizers, quote, racist and anti-Semitic. The last incident was your allegation on February 16th that a Jewish member of the Conservative Party was standing with people who wave swastikas. They then go on to talk about that again, and then it lists who these people were. So I did see another list which went into who these people are, and they're seem to be pretty well-known people, or at least respected people in Israel. So it's interesting. It was good to see something like this. Hopefully we could see other countries say some shit, but I don't think Biden's going to come out against it. He's already supported it, encouraging it. UK, I don't know whether Boris has the balls at the moment to do anything. France should really come out and say something. You'd expect France to maybe do something there, but I don't know. We're not seeing
France is dealing with Putin right now. They're actually the middleman between Putin and Biden. Macron is negotiating with him on behalf of the United States right now. France
fucking
is
brilliant.
Getting involved. Yeah.
Did you say there was another? Oh yeah. Okay. Let me bring you back up. Ro is a donor, the troll donor.
Yeah, I already read that one out. He got his $3.
Yes, we can put that. We should put that in corn futures and see what happens.
Yeah, we should.
Okay, I've got your screen back on screen.
Yeah.
Yeah, go ahead.
Okay, yeah. I'll get to the Canada thing in a second. I just want to finish with these people here and show you who exactly we're dealing with. And then there actually is a picture of the arrest when they got frog marched. When they got their perp walk to the police car. I think it's pretty interesting to see who the arresting officers were. I'll get to that, and I'll go into the Canada stuff too. So yeah, the Crocodile of Wall Street and her husband used hollowed out books to hide their fake passports and burner phones. They laundered $4.5 billion in Bitcoin. Yeah,
Tried
and
to
that
launder.
they're claiming.
I think they got like 1.4 washed.
I
Yeah.
Okay, fair enough. They actually did manage to get some. They
I
should have
think
just
they're-
kept it at that and tried to be quiet.
Yeah, I think.
Yeah,
I think the-
she's like this attention whore that like wanted to go do vines and shit. Like,
Mhm.
yeah,
She's so cringe.
but yeah, I'll show you her shit in a second. But yeah, and so here's going back to that NFT thing. This is one of those FUD articles that came out in Business Standard magazine or whatever this was. The world's largest NFT marketplace was hacked. The users lost their NFT. 32 people were targeted. We went over this. It's not that. Here is the person in question.
1, 2, 3, 4. What we got to walk. 1, 2, 3.
If they can steal $4.5 billion, you can too, guys. I want you to be encouraged by this. Ilya Lichtenstein and his wife Heather Morgan were charged today in conspiracy to launder 119,754 Bitcoin stolen after a hacker breached the systems back in 2016. These are the individuals here. There's another in-depth look here, but this is.
Going. Go.
There, wait.
No, it's got to be near the end.
Oh, come on, folks. We caught a break here. Let's go. Okay, I'm up. We're getting grids. Airline, train, hotels.
Just get the
hospital.
address, the street.
Demonstrate.
There we go. I got it. I think I got it. Is it him?
It's 38 minutes ago.
Go on, make me a sandwich. You annoying like vag itch. So lame. It's fucking trash.
Get everybody up. Do it now.
Keep going. Go.
This is her.
She's got this kind of weird thing where her personality revolves around screwing her face in a weird way. I think we mentioned
Girls
that in
think
the
it's
DM.
like. Girls think it's funny to like. This is them being funny. Like just make a stupid face.
Funny.
Oh, really crazy. Really crazy.
Dude, is she balls ass in that one?
Yeah, I'm not trying to. I'm not.
Yeah,
trying
don't.
to get down
Yeah.
It's just the feet, but it's funny in either way.
there.
This, I
No,
guess,
she's
is the
nude in the
indictment.
picture down there.
Oh, this is the
No,
statement of
yeah,
facts.
this is the statement of facts. This is the intricacy of the thing. You can get this at justice.gov. This is a press release. Yeah. This
Do you want to
is,
just post the link in the DM and I'll post it in the chat?
Okay, I'll do that.
Yeah, no rush. I can do it.
I think the saddest part about this, and we'll do a guys, smash or pass.
I mean, am I getting a piece of that 4.5 billion while she's still out?
Dude, if she approached me while she had 4.5 billion, I would have helped her disappear. We would
Oh
be-
yeah, absolutely, dude. Oh, and I don't want to ram pipe through her too. Fuck it. I don't give a fuck if your face is all jacked up. You got 4.5 billion, sweetie. We're getting out of Dodge. Come on, I love you. Let's go.
But yeah, first of all, I'm telling her to shut up. Like, stop. We're not doing this anymore. We're not doing this TikTok shit anymore. If this girl came up to me, this little, this looks to me that we know what she is, but this looks to me like a cute little Irish girl, right? Like some
Thought she-
26-year-old.
I thought she was Ukrainian.
I don't know. We don't have to get into the early life and shit, but she just needs to fucking get off TikTok. And no, she isn't the one who hacked at MTMD. She was arrested, and I'll get to the. We'll take a look at the arresting officers in just a second here. Yeah, dude. Kaz just sent me that. Yeah. This is her. Like, this is what women think is funny, guys. This is. If you're ever doubting yourself, just remember that this individual was able to hack $3.6 billion from an exchange. Like, she just makes like faces like that, like she thinks it's funny. I don't. And okay, so here's an exclusive picture. This is breaking news. You're not going to see this anywhere except for the Bullstream, ladies and gentlemen. These were
Literally, I was literally just about to swap the background.
Kaz is the fucking shame girl.
Oh shit!
yeah. So if
Dude.
you can see in the hand here, this is the drive that
The
private
evidence
keys
is
were on.
right there.
Mm-hmm. Yep. There's Kaz just looking disapprovingly as he rings the bell.
Shame. Shame. Shame.
Shame on you.
That's it.
I'm gonna tweet this. This is fucking great.
Bro, it's crazy how like your hand, you got a really nice base tan on your face here, but your hands.
Yeah.
I'm
It's
just wearing
all
white
that
gloves,
time in the
man.
sun.
No, it's just gloves. I wanted to match the gloves to the button down.
Yeah, yeah.
Oh, okay. I got it. Like Mickey Mouse.
I got a
you
skin.
don't wanna
I got a
touch
skin
anything.
condition. All right, leave me alone.
Yeah. Yeah. That's it, dude. We got him. And then just jumping
I
over.
love it.
I'll send this to you, Avon.
I already got a screenshot. Yeah, but send me the high res. Yeah.
Yeah. So here's just a little something that's going on in Canada right now. Brienne is a single mom from Chilliwack working a minimum wage job. She gave $50 to the convoy when it was 100% legal to do so. She hasn't participated in any other way, never been to any protests, nothing like that. Her bank account has now been frozen. This is who Justin Trudeau actually is targeting with his Emergency Act orders. So it's going after regular working class people. This woman, a single mom, not going to be able to take care of her family now with any money that she doesn't have in her apartment or whatever because of these Emergency Act orders. She gave $50 to something that she believed in, and now she's getting fucked for it. So here's something that I thought was cool. There is a DeFi. It's not a DeFi. It's a wallet. It's a desktop wallet app that was approached by the government in Canada, and this was their response to seizing their assets. Let me get in here. So the Ontario Superior Court of Justice asked self-custody wallet provider Nunchuk.io to disclose user information and freeze users' Bitcoin. This was the team's response. Dear Ontario Superior Court of Justice, Nunchuk is a self-custodial collaborative multi-sig Bitcoin wallet. We are a software provider, not a custodial financial intermediary. Our software is free to use. It allows people to eliminate single points of failures and store Bitcoin in the safest way possible while preserving privacy. We do not collect any user information, user identification information beyond email addresses. We also do not hold any keys. Therefore, 1, we can't freeze users' assets. 2, we can't prevent them from being moved. And 3, we do not have any knowledge of the existence, nature, value, and location of our users' assets. This is by design. Here's the great paragraph here. Please look up self-custody and private keys. Or please look up how self-custody and private keys work. When the Canadian dollar becomes worthless, we will be here to serve you as well. Sincerely, the team at Nunchuk. I thought that was a nice little
That's
fuck you
pretty
to the
good.
government.
Yeah, that's pretty good. It's very scummy that they're doing this. Fuck it, pisses. It's so shit what they're doing, and they're so proud of it as well.
So, pretty fucked, dude. At least what they're trying to do. Fucking stop voting for Trudeau. And that's basically all I have, dude. If you wanted to go into stuff that you had that maybe I missed, I was going to go into my little brag here when it came to the triangle that I spotted at the bottom. Here's the line that we were looking at for it to hit. It did hit. This is the daily. I'll pop back into, or unless, before I get into this, Kaz, if you had some articles that I...
Let me just have a look. There was maybe one or two which I thought we could add on, or what you think might be curious. Very briefly, this one. Where are we? Window capture. There we go. So you remember sometime last year they were saying, crypto hurts the minorities, all that shit.
Mm-hmm.
Now we've got people talking about that it isn't the case, that it's helping. I'm not going into any of this article. I just thought it was an interesting title. How Bitcoin helps marginalized communities to build generational wealth. Bitcoin is a tool for social justice. Now, this is direct from CoinDesk, sorry. So, people are talking about that, which is interesting, I thought. The other thing was Where are we? Was it this one? I think it was this one. Yeah. I'll bring this on Discord.
Oh my
so
god! Do you
can
remember
see.
this fucking? Is this recent? Because I remember them talking about this, like Ilhan Omar, like, and Ayanna Presley and shit. We're talking about like how it hurts people of color and shit like that.
Yeah, I'm just saying, their narrative was being pushed back on. It's everyone knows that's a fucking bullshit. I'm not going to go into further, but it's just shit. The next thing is accused of bankrupt cred, accused of fraudulent Bitcoin transfer to crypto whale. They paid over 516 Bitcoin for a bond that was essentially worthless. I thought that was an interesting one. Could be something to keep an eye out for interesting news, because they went bankrupt a while ago. Oh, here we go. Yeah, bankrupt in 2020, 500 million in liabilities, and the company blamed alleged fraud on an outside investment manager entrusted with 800 Bitcoin. Where did it go into the guy? Yeah, we already know about that. And then, where is it? Alleged, yeah. New court documents alleged that there was also a fraudulent transaction which Cred paid a consultant and quote crypto whale.
Got it.
Over 516 Bitcoin, worth about 4.8 million at the time, 21 million now, well, at the time of the writing, for a worthless bond. So, quite a interesting one. So, seems to be some dodginess with this. I mean, obviously it was dodgy. I don't know do you remember this at the time? You might not, but there was a lot of talk about this on Twitter, I remember. So that's why I brought it up. I thought the name stuck out to me. The next thing is not really much of an article, but it was BlackRock getting involved here, which is interesting. I'll read the subtitle here. 10 trillion asset managers' arrival would be a big deal for crypto. Yeah, I think so. If we got even a portion of that in the crypto market, that would be pretty nice. I'll link this in the chat. It's too long to read. I can't be bothered to read it. But if BlackRock is indeed getting involved here, could be beneficial to the market. I'll bring you up. Yeah.
Me?
Yeah.
Okay.
Where are you? There you are. Okay, I've got you on screen again. There you go.
All right. Yeah. So this was the day. I'll get into some technicals here and give you some predictions as well as maybe a buying opportunity with one coin in particular. Yeah, this is a humble brag here. Last time we did stream together, I identified this ascending triangle happening. I don't draw lines on my charts unless I'm with the bullies and bullets. You guys know that. Here was the apex that I was talking about. The breakout would happen. If I zoom in a little bit down to the 4-hour or even the 2-hour chart, you can see that it happened a little bit later. There was a bit of a bear trap here. We went below the trend line. We broke the trend line, scared people into thinking that they weren't going to, that the breakout wasn't going to happen. But here's why technicals work. So even though it happened later than we thought it would, after it broke back into the channel here, or the triangle, we did get the break that we were looking for. We came down, we hit it, and then with volume, we exploded up. Let me show you what I'm talking about when I'm talking about ascending triangles. Now, this is sloppy, and if I made it more even, you can see how the resistance up here basically corresponds to the top of the triangle. And for all intents and purposes, this is an ascending triangle that we spotted together. I mean, how much do you want me to brag? Now, when we do when we do triangles, when we do the analysis of triangles, we take measured moves, and it's from the top of this to the bottom of this, from the first time we've hit, from the top to the bottom, basically, of the first movement. I could even move this down here because that was the line. Yeah, let me just go ahead and put that back there. So we take the measured move from the top of the triangle, maybe even from up here, down to the bottom. Now we got a 19.67%. What I always say that from the breakout, you take this movement here, from the breakout, you measure to see where you should sell. Now, if we take this, that was 19.67. We take this from the breakout, look where we are when we hit 19.67. It's right around there, right? I could probably get even more, more accurately. That's where we're at, right? Fucking 16. Jesus, move out of the way. This is taking longer than I thought it would. You take the top, you take the bottom. Technical analysis works, boys and girls. Where are we? There we are. So 13% from the top, from the top to the bottom. Measure that, 13%. We're down here. I mean, that would have been a good place to exit. But if we were looking at the other one, 18%, 19%, this is where the move did come. This is where the move did go. So if you got out at 19%, you would have missed. You're never going to be able to snipe the very top. But that was one hell of a move, and that's why these things. That's why pattern recognition and triangle analysis and shit like that. That's what we look for. That's why we do this. Yeah. So we got in, took a measured move from here, and you got out right there. That was a fucking solid 19% play over the course of a week, maybe. Now what's happening here is that it came back down from that top. There's a million different reasons why. This line, this legacy support is holding up. I know 37,000 to 38,000 is a region where a lot of institutional buyers came in. That seems to be holding up here. That's where the bounce would be happening if we are in fact bouncing. Let's zoom in a little more to see what's happening on the hourly. We hung out around that line right there. The low here being, I'll go ahead and do this with you guys, add a couple of more lines to this thing as if it's not cluttered enough. Right, that's the bottom there. This is the dollar cost averaging. This is where you would buy. You buy at support, sell at resistance. This is where we're at. That seems to be a tried and true. You look left to get indications of what the price action might be to the right. And this looks like a pretty decent support line. This area here, I would call this a buy zone. Next time we touch this area here, you dollar cost average in, that's your buy zone. Between 38,000 and 38,300, the Asian markets love the number 8 and the number 3 for some reason. And this is what I'm talking about when it comes to the personality of a coin. You tend to see the same patterns over and over. And the number 3 and the number 8 tend to be just something to look out for. So this is what I would identify as a little buy zone. If we ever touch back in there again, and there's not enough volume to drive us through the big even, that is $38,000, this is a perfectly good opportunity to buy in this area here. Right now, I would be looking to see if we were able to break past 39.5 again, because again, this is a resistance here, as you can see that it was tried here, and again here, as well as it being a support, back in the day right there. So this area here, if we break through it, then go ahead, wait for it to test this again as support, and then we can start looking at the $42,000 range again. But yeah, this shit works. Let's go into the weekly to see what is going on, because if Bitcoin does something, then everything else is following it. It's going to get too cluttered here, so I'm going to switch over to another chart, the blue chips chart. Okay, so yeah, if we're looking at the weekly chart here, we can see that there is a trend forming here. There is a nice little trend that is being held up where we are right now. Let's put her right there. So yeah, we're approaching an area where this trend seems to be holding up. Now, I don't like to jump the gun and start putting triangles and shit where they're not exactly at yet. But I would say this is a pretty good trend line to pay attention to. Right? If we break through it, then we can start talking about some lows down here. But if we're in the $25,000 range, if we ever go back down to test the 30s, the low 30s, I think we're in some pretty dire straits here. We need $37,000 to hold, and that's it. Let's see here. We're at a support. Yeah, this is a pretty decent support level here. If I was in it mid to long term, you can see the stochastic RSI about to change positions here. We're about to get another green bar, which means buy. Red bar means sell. This is when we're overbought. In this area up here is when we're overbought. This is the stochastic RSI. We still haven't done a stream explaining the indicators, but if you look at our first videos on this stream, I explain my strategy and how I use these as indicators, lines, patterns, shit like that. Whenever these lines cross, there is a tendency for there to be a different direction about to happen. We're going to bounce, essentially. If we're in the oversold condition, then people start buying. If they're overbought, then they start selling. The only thing that would kind of give me pause here would be the MACD. As long as this trend maintains its weakness, then, we may be heading back up. But again, this is the daily chart. This is a slightly, what I would consider, because of how fast crypto moves, I would consider this mid to long term for Bitcoin. Long term usually means like monthly to yearly, but because crypto moves so fast and it doesn't sleep, my long term would be weeks, months, not months and years. So I would say this area here, maybe even closer to the trend line, closer to $37,000, you can get this. Closer to the low 38s, you can get this, the better. This is Bitcoin again. And even if you're looking at other coins like Ethereum and shit like that, Big Daddy Bitcoin controls everything. Whatever Bitcoin's doing, there tends to be a correlation that we all find annoying. If Bitcoin's going down, then everything else is going to go down. Let's see, we can actually go to coinmarketcap.com. Usually I start these things with a little weather report. I missed that opportunity. But yeah, Bitcoin right now is sitting at 39,000. Ethereum down. We were in the, we were at 33,000 or 3,300 a couple of days ago. Now that we're back down to 2,700, that's a little bit disconcerting. But if you listen to JP Morgan Chase, they say we're going to 12,000. So I still haven't sold Ethereum that I got when it was like $600 when I first met Kaz. So I'm holding on. I have no problem with Ethereum. I like holding it long term. Same with Bitcoin. I stack Satoshis whenever I can. But, you can get in and out to take profit. There's some rumblings in the XRP network here that they may be able to settle their case. I know we've been saying it over and over, but yeah. And now again, we're looking at Tether coins and USD stable coins in the top 10, in the top 5 more specifically, and that means that there's a sell-off. We know that. We go over that all the time. The winners today, in the past 24 hours, the biggest gainers would be Quant at 17%. That's a fucking huge percent. There's probably some news coming out with them. Solana and Axie Infinity. This is probably in response to JP Morgan getting involved. Well, not Axie Infinity, Solana specifically. I know Shiba Inu is releasing a new trading platform. Terra, there's Decentraland. That's the JP Morgan where they opened up their bank. They're up 7% on the day. Terra Luna is up 7%. These are more metaverse, metaverse tokens. Terra is something that I really like. This is a good buy for me right now. Maybe wait for it to come down off that run we just had. But Axie Infinity is one of the ones I missed out on when I was offered an opportunity to buy it at like 16. I said, dude, fuck video games, fuck coins that facilitate grown men fucking building castles and pretending they're Batman and shit. And then I missed out on a goddamn opportunity because this was up at like $115 and I could have bought it at 16. That's my biggest mistake, is not buying this down at $16. But yeah, these are our biggest winners, our biggest losers today. Not bad. That's not too big of a drop. Past 24 hours, Neo is down 4%. Rally, which is a weird app that I remember. I should probably check that to see if I have any of these. But I remember getting involved in this like back in fucking 2018, I believe. Tezos down. Yeah, so this is done. We're waiting for the markets to open up. 4:30 East Coast time tends to be the witching hour. That's when London wakes up. That's when Europe responds to what happened over the weekend. We may be looking for something. We may be looking at a nice opening day tomorrow when the institutional buyers get back in. So here's the buy for me right now. Because I know Kaz likes this coin, but I missed out on plenty of opportunities to get in this thing. And we are talking about, of course, Polkadot. Polkadot is a buy for me right now, and I will show you why. Now, usually, whenever you see a big name like this, whenever you hear a big name, or whenever you see a big name losing momentum as far as sentiment, whenever you don't hear anybody talking about it anymore, that's when you buy. So that's the first thing I noticed. There's 3 different types of analysis I do that you should do, and they all work hand in hand with one another. We got fundamental analysis, technical analysis, and sentimental analysis. The fundamentals of a coin are basically what it's doing, what the coin is used for, the utility of it, the use cases for it, whether or not the protocol works, whether or not the blockchain is stable, shit like that. Sentimental analysis is what the general market participants feel about this coin. If it's, has the network been hacked? Do people like it? Or is it trending on Twitter? That's sentimental analysis. What do people think about it? Technical analysis is what we're doing right now, right? It's lines, charts, indicators, patterns, triangles, shit like that. Here's why Polkadot is a buy for me, at least over the next couple of days. There is a downward trend that we're in right now that I believe we will be bouncing out of. And this is a contingent, this hinges on Bitcoin having a good opening day tomorrow, by the way. So I don't want to hear anybody saying I don't want the same reputation as Jim Cramer when it comes to shit like this. But I will say, as long as Bitcoin bounces from the area that it's in right now, I would say that Polkadot is a buy for me. So you do whatever you want. You remember Ivan on Tech, he said, put your big boy pants on and make your own decisions. Take financial responsibility for yourself. I'm not telling you to do anything that I wouldn't do. And what I would do is buy here as soon as we break past this support here with some notable volume. As soon as we get past this thing, if we come back down to test it, and that is the area of $17.45, literally exactly where it is right now. I need it to break past it with some fucking strength, come back down to test it, and this is a tried and true support. So if we bounce off this support after we break out of it, if we do break out of it, that would be my buy. The buy zone would be between let's call it $17 and $17.45. That is a buy zone. That's a decent area to stack. If you're dollar cost averaging, come back down to $16.50. Like I said earlier, you're not putting more than 10% of your total liquid cash, everything you have on the exchange. Don't throw it all at this at one time and then blame Max if you lose any money. But this is a buy zone here between $17 and $17.45. I would look for it to break past it, come back down, test it a little bit. And so look, I'll show you what I mean here. This support right here and where we are right now, that's the buy zone. If it breaks out, comes back down to test it, perfect. That's what I'm looking for. But if you are dollar cost averaging and we do break past this, if Bitcoin doesn't wake up to a bright and sunshiny day, we got to come back down here. We got to start looking at the closer to this trend line here, which is somewhere around 1650, 1675. But Polkadot is something that I'm going to be watching. You do what you want. If you have any questions about it, or if you have any questions about my analysis, this could change tomorrow, right? I don't want to tell you. That's why I don't outright say buy anything. Because tomorrow, everything that I'm saying could be invalidated. That's just the nature of markets generally. But there are, at least if I was to eyeball it, there are reasons why I am looking at this coin and why I'm not going to let myself miss out on another opportunity to get something that may experience a pop in the weeks
The days or weeks ahead. But yeah, there's a bunch of different channels that are lining up for the bounce here to be the bounce. And, again, this is contingent on Bitcoin having a great day tomorrow. But if we scroll into the hourly to see how we're doing, yeah, it's pretty indecisive right now between a pretty strong resistance and a pretty strong support. We just have to see what we're doing tomorrow. We have to see what the markets do tomorrow. But again, DOT is the thing that I'm looking at right now. Let's give Cake a shot, because as volatile as that is, when it's choppy, that's where we make fucking money, right? So it has been bouncing between $7.50 and $8.50. It's been doing these dollar swings for, look, up here it was at $9. This has been happening for the last couple of weeks. Let's see what it is on the daily. It's been real nice and choppy. Nice and choppy. When it starts to look like a Stegosaurus is back, there's money to be made there if you can get the bounce in one way or another. Let's go back into the 1 hour just to zoom in on what I'm talking about here. Nice and choppy. You can literally just buy down here, buy as close as you can to $7, and then sell as close as you can to $8, and you could just do that all fucking week and make tons of money from it. Cake is, I have a little love affair with Cake. Just because I use the platform a lot, I was able to get in on an IFO earlier this week. That was pretty cool. I don't even remember what the name of the coin was, but it was a quick swing. Bought it for 9 cents, sold it for 13. Boom, in and out. Let's see here. That's a trend line that just broke. Again, this is on the hourly chart. So what I would be looking for is it to come back down, test that line, or even test it after we pass this resistance here. If, in fact, we pass this resistance here, for it to come back down, test it, and keep moving back up to this $8.50 range that it seemed to have liked. It seemed to have liked a lot. 8.30 more specifically. 8.30, between $8.30 and $8.50. It goes down to $7, goes up to that area, it comes back down. It's been doing that for a couple of weeks now, and it was nice little swings here and there. But yeah, that's what I got. And I know people are tired. We have been going on for a little bit. Keep your eyes on Cake. Keep your eyes on Polkadot. And don't get mad at me if I'm wrong, but I'm not usually wrong here. So
typically, you've got a very successful win rate, so I wouldn't be worried too much. But I think people who are watching us have been watching us long enough to know that we don't tell you guys.
No, but we do get new people, and I don't want to steer them in the wrong direction. So I'll do this for you right now. Because I talk about stop losses a lot. Whenever I give a little prediction here, I always forget to do this. But where I say, oh, it could either go this way or that way, and if it's going up, I don't give a stop loss. But basically, to protect yourself, you put what's called a stop loss in, so that if you lose some money, or if it goes below a certain amount, it's going to sell it to you automatically. So you're not stuck in a trade. You don't have, taking a 1% loss is better than fucking going to Coinbase and finding out that you lost 4% or 10% over the week because you stayed in a trade that you weren't even really sure about in the beginning. So what you do is you take so let's say you got in at where we were looking at, where this support is. Say you jumped the gun a little bit, you weren't sure about what you were doing. You just know that Max said something about this coin, so you fucking bought it at 17.45. What you do from 17.45 is you bring it down. Oh fuck, I forgot we're on the 15-minute. What I like to do is I don't like to lose more than 1% on any one of my trades. Nice and safe. A lot of people do 2.5, 5%, whatever. I don't like to lose money. So if I got in at 7.45, I would have a stop loss in at, what the fuck? What is it really that? I guess again, getting in at 7.45, going down 1%. I would have a stop loss in at 16.50. Well, that's not really cool, because that's in the next buy zone if I was dollar cost averaging in. But basically, what I'm trying to say is, if you buy here and you don't want to lose money, have a stop loss in right before or right under $17. I would have it right on. That probably 0.5% is a good amount to to risk here because that would put us right at it. Because $17 is a big even, right? So if we come down from here, if I'm wrong, and it's going to continue downward, if it breaks 17, if we are going down, it's going to test $17 just because it's a big even. It's a number with zeros at the end is considered a big even. It's just a number that people psychologically tend to either buy or sell around. So if it breaks past $17, you don't want to lose any more money than you're already invested. So you have it at around $16.91. That way, if it goes down, you don't lose 10%. You can just get back in down here in the $16.50 range. That's how I would do it. Have your stop losses in. Don't ever put in more money than you're willing to lose, because it's a very, high risk, high reward marketplace. And if you lose money, it sucks. So make sure you have your stop losses in. Don't kill yourself. We do have a cross about to happen on the MACD here, as indicated by the Legal MACD. The downtrend is losing steam. We're crossing here on the MACD and signal line. We're a little bit oversold, and the strength of a trend is not there yet. So we are, in my opinion, forming a trend off this bounce, and I would probably get in around where we are right now, closer to $17 the better, and then sell somewhere around $19. That'd be a fucking great move, huh? 18 to 19 bucks. Yeah, that'd be awesome. So I'll keep you updated. We'll go back to this tomorrow or Sunday, whenever, but I will be on Twitter, in the Discord. This could change tomorrow. Oh, look at Kojak. My life savings hinges on your words. Come on, man. Please don't fucking do that. Please don't fucking do that.
Yeah, let's not tell us that one.
No. But yeah, Polkadot is something that I'm looking at, right?
Yeah.
I'm looking at it. So, and that was Kaz's favorite coin in a while, and I've had my eye on it since, because I think when he told me, it's been around. We know about it.
Yeah.
But when he told me he was getting into it, I just kind of poo-pooed him, and he made a killing, and I sat on the sidelines.
Went pretty well in the end. Yeah.
So I think we're done, boys and girls.
Sounds like a show. Sounds like a show, ladies and gentlemen.
I see Avon in my DMs playing me off. He's
right.
getting the hook cane ready to pull me off stage here. But
hey, wrap it up, B.
Yeah, dude. That's cool that you get an hour and a half to talk about your shit, but I give people valuable information, and I gotta fucking wrap it up.
To be fair, usually I wrap my shit up very quickly. To be fair, huh?
To be fair.
It's all good.
All right, guys.
As always, guys, thank you for watching. You guys are the shit. Thanks for turning up.
Before we sign out, let me give another shout out to Bane Conqueror of Mars with the big dono, Deluxe 247 with the big dono, Fake Ethan Ralph account with the small dono. Still, keep the money coming. We appreciate it. Boys, it's been a good fucking stream.
Yeah, I'll see you later, guys.
Thank you, guys. Thanks for showing up. Thanks for liking us. We like you too.
That sounded gay.
Very gay.
My killers will not take no for an answer. Some
So long, we don't stop walking.